champs and John Franz, 177-pounder from Island Trees, and 250-pounder Jeff Fisher from Massapequa High School.
These two gentlemen, as Jim just mentioned, last year they were the defending, they won the championships. They're looking to defend this year. 177 pounds for John Franz out of Island Trees High School. He is a good one.
He certainly is. This year he has a 14-2 record. He perhaps might be wrestling in one of the most competitive weight classes in the state tournament, and he hopes to get his second trip back to Syracuse.
What are some of his better attributes, Jim?
His better attributes are his takedowns. He's a very good takedown wrestler, as most Island Trees wrestlers are, and we can look for him to try to work his takedowns on his feet and perhaps his fireman's carry, trying to put his opponent to his back this evening.
And then, of course, later on in the evening, the last match, that'll be the 250-pound weight class. Jeff Fisher last year wrestled out of Mepham High School, this year out of Massapequa High School, undefeated.
Right. I just spoke with Jeff, and I asked him how he felt the transition has been, and he said it's gone very well. The teammates at both Mepham and Massapequa have been very good for him, and he feels the aggressive style of Massapequa has helped him this year, and the conditioning with wrestling with the coaches also has helped. He told me he hopes to return to Syracuse, and if he does, he's going up there to try to capture a gold medal for Nassau County Wrestling.
What do you think the feeling might be right now with the wrestlers? They're warming up, they're in the background right now, they hear the crowd, they're filing in. Anticipation out there and started?
Yeah, most of the boys want to get out and wrestle. A majority of them are all seniors. They've been in this tournament for the past 2 or 3 years, knocking on the doorsteps, so to speak. Most of them are highly touted wrestlers, and they want to earn that coveted state championship medal, and they have to get there, and it's a very competitive situation, so they're tentative at best.
Well, Jim and I are ready. It's going to be a great evening, but before we even get into the matches, I'm going to send you over to Frank Cortali, and with him is Tim Davey, the officials liaison.
Frank Cortali here with Tim Davey, the officials liaison of the county wrestling tournament. Tim, we have some viewers who are unfamiliar with the sport of wrestling. Maybe you few pointers.
Well, basically, you'll have 2 wrestlers out on the mat, one wrestler wearing a red anklet, the other wrestler wearing a green anklet. When the red wrestler scores, the official will indicate his points with his red armband, signaling like so. If the green participant scores any points, the referee will signal his points by raising his other arm, which also has a green armband on it to indicate he has scored the points for the fans as well as the recorders of the match.
New wrestling fans, that's simple enough. Let's now join the procession of champions.
And here comes the parade of champions. I'll tell you one thing, Jim, this is quite an honor as they in the individual weight classes, 14 in all, quite a tribute to the county's best.
It certainly is, Carl. Yeah, you're looking at the 84 all-county wrestlers. They've been working out since mid-November, and it's coming to the close in late February. They've worked very hard for the medals that they've earned and the achievements that they've accomplished, and we'd like to really congratulate all of them, because what they've done has been a tremendous tribute to themselves.
Win or lose in this match, it's been a great season for all these wrestlers. Of course, for the winners, they'll advance to Syracuse for the state championships, and that should be a great, great time also.
It certainly could. Nassau County has a fine tradition. They've won the state tournament 10 times, and this year, the champions that are crowned tonight, they should send up another strong team and hopefully try to get their 11th title over 26 years. That's quite a feat in itself, Carl.
And we are just moments away from the open attack right after this timeout. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Aloha. I'm Jerry McDougal, and I'm pleased.
Dual Wrestling Championships is being brought to you by Apple Bank for Savings, we're good for you, and by Adelphi University, a commitment to intellect. Once again at Nassau Community College, Carl Reuter along with Jim Nordland, the former Burner coach, now an assistant coach on the varsity level, with Chaminade Jim approaching match number 1 of the night, first of 14, 91-pound weight class. It'll be Doug Yerkes of Division against Andrew Baruchik of Bethpage.
And here we go, Carl. Doug Yerkes is the boy from Levittown Division. He is in the green anklet, and Andy Baruchak is in the red anklet from Bethpage. Both boys are seniors, and it's quite remarkable that both boys are seniors and they're competing in the 91-pound weight class.
Of course, you have three 2-minute periods, and unless there is a pin.
Dougie Yerkes in on the leg now, working for his inside cradle, and 2-point takedown is awarded, and they go out of bounds. The official for tonight's match is Mr. Dick DeMott, who has awarded Doug Yerkes 2 points in the top position.
You are looking at Doug Yerkes, the senior out of division, sparkling record of 23-2 this year. First match of the night, knockout weight class. Yerkes in the blue with the green anklet, and Baruchak of Bethpage.
But Baruchak now has been awarded 1 point, and they go out of bounds at 1 point. Is for an escape. Because now they'll be on their feet working for a takedown in what they call the neutral position. Yerkes again attacking the legs. He has good leg tack, single leg now. Check trying to counter it.
Last year, Yerkes, of course, he was a runner-up in 91 pounds in Section 8. And this year looking to capture that county title, that coveted county title.
Yerkes again in on the legs. He has to work up for the takedown, and there it is, awarded again, 2-point takedown.
Yerkes now on top, 4-1, with 50 seconds left in the first period. Yerkes much more aggressive than Baruchak here in the opening match.
In this period, Carl, he certainly has been. I was talking to his coach, Mr. Steve Whalen, former Massapequa High School wrestler and state champion himself, and he said that he wanted Yerkes to go out and attack and work aggressively on his feet. And I think Yerkes has listened to his coach's orders, and he's done that as such so far. And right now he's riding in top position. The top position, the man must work for a turn. That's his job on top. And the bottom man, Baruchak, has to work to try to get out. And right now he's having a little difficulty as Yerkes is riding him very tough on top.
Jim, you might want to touch on when will the official blow the whistle for the wrestlers when they come outside the circle boundary?
Carl, that's based on supporting points. If the wrestler's supporting points with arms and legs is outside that orange circle, that is constituted out of bounds, and they will stop the wrestling action. That is what happened just then.
You saw Yerkes again in the offensive position on top. 15 seconds to go in this first period. First match of the evening in the Nassau County Wrestling Championships. Yerkes on top by a score of 4-1 over Baruchak of Bethpage.
Out of bounds they go. 9 seconds remaining in the first period. Yerkes leading 4-1.
Now once again, Yerkes will be in the offensive position on top. Defensive position, of course, Baruchak on the bottom.
And with 5 seconds to go, Baruchak tried to work for escape, but I think he's moving on almost. And first period ends.
Rolls him over there with Yerkes on top after the first period, 4-1. The coin flip you are watching. This will be for choice of position now, either neutral, offense, or defense.
Or they can choose their feet, which is neutral position, like you said, Carl, or they can defer. I believe the choice went to Baruchak, and he deferred, and Yerkes chose the bottom, and he quickly escaped, and now holds a 5-1 lead as we enter the second period.
There you see Yerkes again. Yerkes really looking to the offensive strategy here, not a defensive wrestler at all in this match.
Baruchak now with a snap down, spin behind takedown.
Picks up 2, and it's 5-3 Yerkes.
Apparently, Baruchak's coach, which is Mr. Ron Abatelli, told him to use similar strategy, and that they want the majority of this match to go on their feet. And we're seeing a lot of takedowns exchanged and a lot of escapes, and they go out of bounds. Yerkes with a little hip toss, but no points could be scored as both wrestlers were out of bounds when the action.
Yerkes in his varsity career has 67 wins and only 14 losses. Baruchak 33 wins, 8 losses, and has a tie.
Again, Yerkes tries to shoot. Baruchak attempting to snap and spin. Yerkes counters with another, and 2 points rewarded as they get another takedown.
So Yerkes now with a commanding 8-3 lead with 1:12 to play. I should say with 1:12 to wrestle in this second period. Baruchak defensive position, Yerkes offense now on the top.
Yerkes is probably going to try to ride him a bit here and work for a 2-point turn and try to build his 8-3 lead as we see it happening. Raul The official there, Mr. DeMott, with a one-hand count, was trying to signal for back points. In wrestling, the rule has changed over the past years. A wrestler must hold his opponent on his back for a 2-second count to receive 2 points. If he holds him on his back for 5 seconds, he will receive 3 points. That is based on the referee's judgment and the angle of the predicament. And right now, Yerkes again is riding top, and he will try to turn him.
Inside of a minute, down to 43 seconds in this second period. Yerkes 5-point lead at 8-3.
He's holding him now with a wrist through, and he is going to be scoring points. I believe the official has signaled that he has 2 points.
They haven't as yet put it up on the board.
They have now awarded it. What happens there, Carl, they have to wait till the move is broke so that the wrestler has a chance on the bottom to regain his base and attempt. And here's Yerkes again, working it for a turn. Baruchak attempting reversal, but Yerkes is maintaining good control on top and is working for a bar arm. Mr. DeMott watching for a potentially dangerous hole, and he's on his back again. Yerkes, with 2 seconds, picks up 2 more points.
Now really in control, going into the third period.
And that'll be Yerkes' choice.
There you see the 91-pound class. First of 14 matches, Nassau County Wrestling Championships. Yerkes on the left of your screen, Baruchak on the right.
Again, they start the third and final period of this 91-pound match on their feet. They're in a neutral position. Baruchak now is going to have to be looking for a takedown. He's trailing in the match 12-3, and he's going to have to start attacking.
He's going to have to go for a pin here. I mean, that's 9 points, a lot of deficit to make up.
And he's in on his legs, and he drives him across. He could get his takedown. He has 2 takedowns.
So it's 12-5 now. Yerkes on top with 1:35 left in this third period.
He's going to let him up and try to take him down. However, he's going to have to work to his back. This strategy might have backfired as Yerkes is now in on a takedown. If he can clear the arm, which he does, he receives a 2-point takedown to go ahead 15-5 with a little over a minute left in the match.
Doug Yerkes, last year the runner-up in Section 8, now just 1 minute and 10 seconds away from the county championship.
Carl, again, he has tilted his opponent, Mr. Baruchak, on his back, so Yerkes now picks up 2 more points and holds a commanding 17-5 lead with 58 seconds to go in the match. Baruchak trying a step-over move, and great wrestling out there, Carl. These boys came to wrestle. 91-pounders usually are the exciting weight class, as they're out there to wrestle. Doug Yerkes now seems to stop his motion on the bottom, and Baruchak is turning him.
Trying to turn him over.
Trying to turn him over to half Nelson, and the official stops the match for an equipment adjustment, which happens quite frequently during the match. So we'll have a momentary timeout here.
So there's 33 seconds left in the third period. Yerkes on top, commanding 17-7 lead. That is Yerkes they are working on with the headgear. And there's the official in control of this match.
The official, Mr. Dick DeMott, has been a steady county tournament official, as he has officiated this tournament for the past 18 years.
In fact, all of the officials combined tonight, Jim, 122 years of officiating experience in wrestling.
That's quite remarkable, and Nassau County has a high tradition of wrestling, and their officials uphold that tradition also.
Yerkes, 20 seconds away from the county championship.
If he stays down underneath him, and he's trying to hold on to his lead, and 17-7, it looks like he has a good commanding lead with 10 seconds to go. You're going to start to see the elation as he's trying to work reversal, and
he's got it all wrapped up with 2.
And there's 1 second to go, and that's it.
And there he is, Jubilation County Championship.
1988 Nassau County champion from Levittown Division High School, senior Doug Yerkes.
In a commanding win over Andrew Baruchak, 18-7. And there you see the jubilation. Last year, the runner-up. He comes back strong this year, and boy, what a feeling it must be to be a county champion.
It certainly is, Carl, and for first-year coaches, Howard Schumann and assistant coach Steve Whalen, congratulations.
All right, so that was the end of the first match. Yerkes, the winner, And we'll be back with more right after this. You're watching the High School Championship Wrestling on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Last year, he's a favorite this year, and he won by a commanding score of 18-7. Doug, great match.
Thank you very much. Took a lot of hard work, but I got here and I did it. I had it set out to be, and I did it.
Right, in control from throughout. Here's some a highlight of your match.
Strong. Guy on bottom is very strong, but my hips, you know, I'm all right. I'm not, you know.
Doug Yerkes he's huffing and puffing here, but he's huffing and puffing as a champion. Doug Yerkes, the winner of the 91-pound class. Let's go back now to Carl and Jim.
All right, Frank, and you could see how much it takes out of a wrestler in a match like that as we get set for the 98-pound weight class. And this will be Murat Lempert out of Oceanside going up against Eddie Leonard of East Meadow. And there you see the records. We've had one county champion crowned, Doug Yerkes of Division 91. We move it up now to the 98-pound wrestlers as you look at Ed Leonard, only a sophomore wrestling in the county finals.
And Ed Leonard pulled probably the major upset of the tournament in defeating defending champ Keith Rommel of Metham by a 4-0 score in a semifinal bout. Rommel was a state place finisher last year and was ranked second in the state. Ed Leonard, a sophomore with a 26-2-1 record, is going to be out here for the county title. He was going to be hard-pressed by Oceanside senior Merritt Lampert, who has an impressive 34-2 record.
Jim, let me ask you something. As you look, there is the Oceanside Sailor. He will be in green. Lampert, a sophomore going up against the senior. That experience of 2 more years of wrestling has certainly got to help Lampert.
It certainly should. Lampert also does a lot of freestyle wrestling in the off-season, as we see Leonard trying to get in on his legs here, and that freestyle wrestling has helped him. And it's right now Leonard is trying to attack the legs, and Lampert is trying to do a crotch throw or a belly roll to award himself the takedown, and he's trying to turn around and slip the leg in on Mr. Leonard.
Leonard wrestling with the red ankle band.
And Lampert in the green ankle band from Ocean High School has just been awarded a takedown as he has maintained control over Ed Leonard. Lampert advanced to the final with a solid 9-0 score over Tom Sinecor of Bethpage, who is highly touted and has been a 2-time county place winner himself.
Lampert comes out from a different kind of a background. His parents emigrated from the Soviet Union in 1979. His father wrestled in the Soviet Union. Some wrestling experience in the Lampert family.
Yes, and this boy's been wrestling, it seems, his entire life. I remember him in kid wrestling, and he's put a lot of time in the sport, as is his coach, Ira Goodbell. And then to show that he's put a lot of time, to have 77 career wins is certainly impressive. And Lampert now with a 4-1 lead with another takedown.
I'll tell you one thing, the periods go fast when you watch, but not for the wrestler, because they're out there, it's grueling out there. We're down to 30 seconds, but that's some tough conditioning you've got to be involved with.
It certainly is. For 6 minutes, you have to use your mind, your body, everything you have, and especially this championship caliber match, they're going for broke. As Lampert is holding on to in the top position with 15 seconds remaining in the first period, he has him in a cradle, and if he can tilt that shoulder down, he will receive back points. The official for this match is Mr. Richie Smith, who, as you mentioned before, Carl, is another outstanding official, and he has officiated for 21 years in Nassau County.
So, first period is over.
And we have Lampert on top with a 4-1 lead, and it'll be Lampert's choice, and Lampert chooses the down position or the defensive position.
Why that strategy now? He has the choice. Why does he take that position, Jim?
I feel in the strategy that Lampert feels that he can either escape or work a reversal move on Leonard and hopefully score points. But right now, Ed Leonard has slipped in a leg, which he's very successful with. But Lampert hits a nice move, and he's trying to come around for a reversal. Leonard is maintaining control, and Lampert escapes for 1 point, and they're back on their feet.
So it's 5-1. Lampert on top. 1:35 left, second period.
Right now, Leonard, who's trailing by 4 points, is going to have to start attacking. As he does there, he's in on the leg. He's going to probably try to turn towards the head, but Lampert countering nicely as he we have to watch this for a potentially dangerous as the leg is around the
Got him
throat.
locked around that throat.
And good wrestling, but no points scored there. Both boys are wrestling, hitting moves and countering moves. And they go out of bounds with 1:11 remaining in the second period.
Should let you know that the clock does stop when they do go out of bounds momentarily until they get back into the mat and start wrestling again. Feeling out process there before he attacked.
Lempert is in on the leg in a precarious situation. Leonard trying to counter with a belly roll of his own. Right now they're in a neutral position. Leonard is attempting a move known as a spladle, but Lempert coming through with a double leg takedown. If he can turn around and maintain control, he will be awarded the points.
5-1, 35 seconds left. Lempert on top.
And he's just received another takedown to take a 7-1 lead with less than 30 seconds remaining in the second period.
Do these wrestlers, Jim, at any one time, can they get called for stalling? Can they both sit out there and actually rest a little bit, or will the official come in and say, hey, you've got to wrestle? Points will go against you for stall tactics.
In the championship match, Carl, it's going to be very hard for them, because if one wrestler slows down, the other wrestler will apply a move, and that move could be costly, so therefore most likely will not occur. However, there are times when it does, and the referee will have to warn that wrestler for stalling.
Well, period number 2, as you look at the gentleman from East Meadow, Ed Leonard, only a sophomore, trailing 7-1, and that is Murat Lempert, the senior, who's looking to win the county championship in the 98-pound wrestling class.
It was Ed Leonard's choice, and he chose his feet with hopes of getting a takedown, and he might have a headlock here, but Lempert counters with a slip out, and he rewards the 2 points for the takedown to go ahead 9-1.
So Leonard with his work cut out for him, trailing 9-1, as Jim said, with 1:35 left in the match.
And Leonard with another escape. Leonard now trailing 9-2 is perhaps going to have to start looking for what is termed a big point move with a headlock or a hip toss to try to get himself back in this match. But Lempert has been relentless, and as you said before, Carl, 6 minutes, these boys really compete, and they really go at it. And here's Lempert still attacking.
Your impressions, do you think the senior now showing the experience of 2 years over the sophomore?
Yes, I think the experience, the maturity, the fact that he's been in this tournament a few years, was a place winner last year, and has really worked hard. And his goal, I'm sure, when he set out in November, was to win a county championship for Coach Ira Gabel and himself and his family.
Two more for Lempert now.
And he's 50 seconds away from accomplishing it.
11-2.
Leonard has to start moving if he's going to turn the tables in this match. But right now, Lempert in a commanding 11-2 lead, and is still working aggressively as he's trying to turn him over.
That's one thing about in this type of sport. You really don't relax, because I guess at any one moment, your opponent can spin you around, and there it is, 1-2, and the pin is, you're a loser.
That's exactly it, Carl. It only takes 2 seconds to hold both shoulder blades down, or as in terms the scapula. In 2 seconds, anything can happen. So, therefore, in a 6-minute match, you have to wrestle continuously throughout. And Lempert applying the pressure, but Leonard is trying to slip back and look for his reversal. And with 10 seconds to go, it looks as if Murat Lempert is going to hold on for a commanding 11-2 victory.
And you've got another county champ, jubilation. Murat Lempert, what a feeling that must be to be crowned a county champ. And there you see, but he'll be back, Mr. Leonard, only a sophomore. And if he made it to the finals as sophomore, well, you can't tell what's going to happen in the next 2 years for this gentleman.
That's so true, Carl. In this weight class, as you look through the bracketing, is probably the most competitive and talented weight class, as there's 6 outstanding wrestlers. And for Murat Lempert to win that weight class, that's quite an accomplishment.
All right, and we will be back. We'll get a chance to talk with Mr. Lempert right after this timeout. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision.
The winner in the 98-pound weight class, Murat. 11-2 was the score. They say nothing beats experience. The senior beat the sophomore.
That's true. In this case, it's true.
Talk about your match with Mr. Leonard.
Well, I knew it was going to be a good competition for me. And I tried, well, to wrestle my best, like I did in the semis. There's not much I can say.
Pretty much in control throughout, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Just trying to hold on there. not to get a reversal and try and look for a cradle. So it was beginning, the end of the period. I was trying to do anything stupid to give it up.
Carl said your dad wrestled in the Soviet Union. What kind of pointers did he give you?
I had no idea he wrestled until last year.
Congratulations, best of luck up in Syracuse.
Thank you very much.
Let's go back to Carl now.
All right, Frank, getting ready for the 105-pound match. You're looking at Bethpage's Chris D'Andrea, and he'll go against the guy that Jim Nordland very familiar with, James Vassaturo.
Yes, I certainly am, Carl, and James is a senior, as is D'Andrea. James, the 3-time league champ, Berna High School for 3 years, and the last year, due to the school merger, is now wrestling for Massapequa. Chris D'Andrea, 34-0 out of Bethpage. Both boys are excellent, and this could be one of the top matches of the finals. D'Andrea trying to get a single ankle pick takedown here, and Vassaturo trying to counter.
Well, I'm sure you have a little bit of rooting interest in this. You had Vassaturo. You know how he is. He's come up through the ranks with you until the schools merged. What kind of a wrestler is he? Is he capable of the county championship?
He certainly is, as they both go out of bounds. Last year, Mr. Vassaturo was county runner-up in the 112-pound weight class, and this year he's back in the finals for the second consecutive year at one weight class lower, as he's in the 105-pound weight class. Again, D'Andrea looking for his inside ankle pick, but Vassaturo counters as well. Vassaturo has used a lot of front headlocks and snap and spin type of moves for his takedowns, along with his duck unders, and right now he is trying to work around for an underhook, spin behind takedown.
All right, both wrestlers, of course, wearing the same colors. Vassaturo has the green ankle band, and of course, D'Andrea, that would make him with the red ankle band. Those ankle bands, of course, on the left foot.
Right now, D'Andrea again attacking the legs. Vassaturo countering here. He's trying to work a belly roll, and if he can kick his leg free, he can be awarded the 2 points. The official in this bout is Mr. Mark Piven.
Is Vassaturo more of an offensive or defensive wrestler, Jim?
Vassaturo is a little bit of both, Carl. He's highly aggressive. He's in tremendous condition. Very rarely you see him tire. But in all credit, to be fair, Chris D'Andrea.
There you see D'Andrea on the left.
Vassaturo in on his high crotch, duck under attempt takedown, and D'Andrea counting with an underhook. Right now with 15 seconds to go in the first period, both wrestlers have not been able to convert any move for a takedown.
Is this unusual that we have only 5 seconds left in a first period and we have no points on the scoreboard?
You'll see that happen, Carl, when you have 2 outstanding wrestlers of equal ability. It is very hard to score a takedown. As they go into the second period, we're deadlocked at 0.
And the coin flip, and the choice will go to D'Andrea.
And he defers his choice to James Vassaturo, who chose the down position. Vassaturo is very good from this position. He'll try to use a reversal type of move and try to take a 1-point or a 2-point lead as they enter into the second period.
Should mention that Nassau Community College is packed. They really support the wrestling here. And you could just feel the anticipation of someone trying to spin over and get that pin. Yet to have one in our opening 2 matches, but you never know. It happens so quickly in wrestling.
It certainly does. And right now, D'Andrea is on top, riding what is termed a spiral ride, and Vassaturo working to break that control and try to score some points to take a lead.
Looking for try to gather an advantage there. Of course, re-identifying again. D'Andrea out of Bethpage High School, wearing the red ankle guard, and Vassaturo out of Massapequa, wearing the green ankle guard. Still no score with 1:15 left in the second period.
Vassaturo in on a switch position, but D'Andrea countering nicely as he's following all the movement as of such. Vassaturo again trying to move, and we have a warning for stalling call against Chris D'Andrea. When you're in the top position, you're required to try to work to turn your opponent. And at this point, he allows Vassaturo to get a neutral, and they'll go back on their feet.
Are you allowed, is it just the 1 warning, or are you awarded a point right away for stalling your opponent, or is there a second warning and then the point is awarded?
You receive a warning, and on the second infraction, your opponent is awarded a point. And right now, D'Andrea has a warning, and Vassaturo seems to be trying to be the aggressive, as they're both looking to work for their takedowns, but they're unable to convert anything. Right now, D'Andrea is in the underneath position. Vassaturo trying to work a front headlock to convert for a takedown.
Jim, these kids know each other because they see each other wrestle during the year. They might even come up against one another in dual meets or in tournaments. How much strategy is actually used now? I mean, will they go in there and discuss with their coach what they might want to do in a match like this?
Yeah, yes, most certainly they will, Carl. In this particular match, when the county championship is at stake, a lot of strategy goes into it because it's one match, it's against one opponent. You might want to change your style for that particular match to convert yourself into a county champion. Right now, both wrestlers have a lot of respect for each other as we approach 4 seconds remaining in the second period, with Vassatoro holding a slight 1-0 lead.
So anything can happen as we go into the final 2 minutes, perhaps the final 2 minutes, because there is overtime periods, but 1-0 Vassatoro with 2 minutes on the clock as we begin period number 3.
And period 3 will start with Chris DeAndrea on the bottom position, and he will try to work for his escape or reversal. So we could have a close match as we wind down here into the third period. Vassatoro on top in a standing position. They go back to the mat. He will try to work his leg ride series, which he is very effective with, and he is trying to work that right now and try to work for a turn as he has DeAndrea's arm. He's trying to work him towards his back and receive 2 points.
It's so difficult, it seems, to gain an advantage on your opponent. It looks easier than what it really is taking place on out on that mat.
It certainly is, Carl, because you're looking at resistance, competitive strength, ability, match of the minds, strategy, and again, the most important thing out there for both these boys is to try to achieve that county championship. Both boys being seniors, it means an awful lot to them. And DeAndre now has gotten an escape, and with 1 minute remaining in the third period, we're at 1-1. So we're going to look for a close finish here as Vassatoro is trying to acquire quarter Nelson and hopefully can convert it as they go into a stalemate.
All right, so exactly 1 minute left in the third period. Vassatoro, DeAndrea tied at 1 apiece. Inside a minute now at 53 and counting.
Just another point here, Carl. DeAndrea has to be careful. Chris DeAndrea has to be careful here, as he has already been warned. He's going to have to remain aggressive, as I'm sure he's going to. And Vassatoro looking for a takedown. Again, DeAndrea attacks the leg, and now it looks as if they're going to warn Vassatoro. So both boys are even, 1-1. Both boys are even in a warning with stalling.
And 30 seconds left on the clock, Jim.
30 seconds. This match is going down to the wire. Again, DeAndrea in on the leg. Vassatoro trying to counter. We might have a counter here with an inside leg.
This is where the crowd will pick up.
Vassatoro has been awarded 2 points for the takedown on a nice counter move, and is now putting him on his back.
With only 11 seconds left in the third period.
The official, Mark Piven, has signaled that he could be awarded back points. And Mr. Vassatoro.
He's close with 2-1. It's Vassatoro, the county champ, in 105 pounds. A great grueling match between James Vassatoro and Chris DeAndrea, but it's Vassatoro who captures the county championship at 105.
A real tribute to both wrestlers. Vassatoro being a 3-time county place winner. Again, runner-up last year. Worked all year. I spoke to him throughout the season. He says, Coach, my goal is to be county champ, and he has just earned it.
All right, so there you see a jubilant Mr. Vassatoro.
That's with his brother, his older brother, Paul. There's his dad, Nick.
Family reunion over there. We'll be back.
Family.
We'll try to capture some of that right after this timeout. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Right now we have our best match of the night. Chris Vassatoro wins it in a pitcher's duel, 3-1. Chris, talk about that tough match.
It was close on our feet. We were going even, but that move's it's been working for me all year. I figured if I hit it there at the end, I'd get it.
And here's the score. Was tied at 1-1 up until now.
Yeah. This move I've been working on all year just finally came around. Been working on it all year.
And there's nothing you can do when you're on your back in that position except watch the points go up on the board against you. Chris, congratulations. Best of luck up in Syracuse. Let's now go back to Carl and Jim.
All right, Jim, and there you see James Vassatoro, who was able to capture that at 105 pounds. Now, Joe Marinello against Rich Anderson, 112 pounds, both out of Massapequa High School. Is this an unusual situation?
This has happened in the past with some Long Beach wrestlers a while back, and it does happen occasionally. You have 2 outstanding wrestlers here in Joe Marinello, who's a 4-time county place winner. This is his 3rd trip to the finals, and he's been a 2-time runner-up. He's going against Rich Anderson, who had wrestled for Berna for 3 years, and now with the merge has gone to Massapequa.
Marinello, a 4-time Massapequa tournament champion. He was the second wrestler to do this. And in the first, of course, was one of the best, Tommy Ryan of Wanto, who captured that last year. Tommy now, of course, wrestling up at Syracuse University with his brother Frank.
Marinello looks first, and Anderson is awarded a snap and spin takedown. Right now, Anderson takes a 2-0 lead. As coaches Gary Mims and Tony Northern look on in anticipation of watching two of their wrestlers go at it for a county title.
I think you know who Tony Nordland is, huh?
I think I do. He's my younger brother, and he's been at Massapequa for 10 years, and he's done a fine job over there working with the boys, as has Gary Mims, who this year their team made the finals of the Nassau County Dual Meet Championship, and Gary earned his 94th Dual Meet victory.
All right, I've got another question for you. You have two wrestlers, same school, same coaches. Who tells which one what to do out on the mat?
I think, Carl, in all honesty, I think they say good luck to both of them and go get them, and
it's
may
a
the
tough
best
situation.
man win.
I guess that's all you could say to them.
It certainly is, and right now Anderson holds a 2-0 lead with 1:04 remaining in the first period. Anderson with a 14-5 record. This is his third county medal, and like I said before, both boys are county place winners. They're outstanding wrestlers, and unfortunately one of them will have to take the silver. And right now Anderson is in standing position as Marinello working aggressively for an escape, trying to break free of the hands. They go back to the mat, and Marinello,
I believe he just tripped.
Has escaped, and he is
trying to turn him over there.
He's been awarded Mr. Lon Colvin, the official, has awarded a 2-point reversal. He did not award the 1-point escape. In his judgment, I feel he didn't feel that the escape was there.
All right, Jim, how do we determine here? Obviously, there wasn't a coin flip. How do we determine the offense and defensive position here?
Well, right now,
when they come back onto the mat now.
Well, Joe Marinello had been, they stopped the action there. It was probably a caution, as there was there on the bottom wrestler, Mr. Anderson, probably moved one moment before the start of the whistle. Marinello was in the offensive position. He earns that position with that 2-point reversal.
Again, offense being on the top, the defensive position on the bottom.
Right, and now Marinello will try to, has to, and according to the rules of wrestling, has to try to turn him as he is right now. With 20 seconds to go in the first period, we were at 2-2, and Rich Anderson on the bottom trying to work for his escape.
Just to set it for those of you, Marinello, of course, now on top, has that green band around his ankle, and Anderson with the red. Down to just 7 seconds now. And his official's whistle.
And that call there was a stalemate in that the fact that both wrestlers could not improve their position, so they stopped the wrestling and give both wrestlers a chance to work for some more action. With 5 seconds remaining in the first period, Anderson is in the bottom position, and Marinello, of course, on top.
So you're down to 3, 2, 1, and we've completed the first period. 2-2, Joe Marinello, Rich Anderson, both out of Massapequa in the 112-pound weight class.
And Rich Anderson had gotten a choice. He deferred his choice, and Joe Marinello will be making that choice as we approach the second period with the score tied at 2-2. Both boys are seniors. As I mentioned before, unfortunately, only one can win. One of the problems in New York State wrestling is that only the champion qualifies for the New York State Intersectional Championship, which really is a tough thing for some of the boys that don't make it.
Anderson trying to roll Marinello over.
And Anderson on top trying to put his leg right in. Marinello, of course, trying to work free. And again, they stop the action as the move is termed potentially dangerous.
You know, you notice the weights on these kids. We start at 91 and we work our way to 98, 105, now 112. You can't call these kids 98-pound weaklings or 91. These kids have tremendous builds. They really work out in the gym, and they should be proud of the way that they look.
They certainly should, Carl. They do a lot of weight training throughout the year. They really watch their nutrition. They're well conditioned, and they're very well disciplined. And coming from Massapequa, which is one of the top programs in Nassau County, both of these boys have fine backgrounds. We have a 3-2 score here as they both go out of bounds.
Minute 26 in the second period.
With Marinello leading 3-2. Both boys now, Anderson attacks for a takedown. Marinello down on his knees trying to counter.
just hear that hum in the crowd, that anticipation of waiting for that action to pick up. And in a close match like this, the crowd really gets into it. They react with the score close and the clock winding down. And we're in one of those situations right now. We're inside a minute in the second period between Marinello and Anderson, both out of Massapequa.
And it's funny that you say that, Carl, because both of these families are very close. Mr. Marinello and Mr. Anderson, who I know are sitting in the stands, are with anticipation, are very close friends, and they want their boys to do the best, and to meet in the finals is an accomplishment. Unfortunately,
one of them
will advance.
And one does.
And right now, Marinello in on the legs, but Anderson trying to slide over and is forced to release the hold, and Marinello awarded 2 points and now takes a 5-2 lead with 34 seconds remaining in the second period.
So Marinello right now on top, 5-2, also on top here of Anderson with 20 seconds to go in this second period.
Joe Marinello holding the lead. Joe Marinello, 86 career wins, hopes to earn his first trip to Syracuse, and with 10 seconds to go in the second period, he has a commanding 5-2 lead.
Anderson, of course, with 60 wins against 28 losses in his wrestling time at Massapequa. As the second period comes to an end, on top, Joe Marinello, 5-2 over his teammate, Rich Anderson, who I guess is not a teammate when you come down to the county championships.
No, he's not. And Rich Anderson, as a sophomore, was Nassau County champ, and he was also a New York State tournament place winner, and that he was awarded 6th place back in 1986. As we approach the third period, Rich Anderson is trailing 5-2. Anderson will be working for his reversal, and of course Marinello is going to be working his leg series or his spiral ride on top. As we see the leg go in, Marinello very effective with this type of move throughout his career, and he's working aggressively on top.
You could see them that they are getting a bit tired. Anderson looked like he was huffing and puffing a little bit more at the start of the third period as opposed to Joe Marinello.
And right now Marinello again working the cross body ride as it's termed, with trying to work the arm up and to put Rich Anderson on his back to receive back points.
1:25 left in this third period, which could be the match. Marinello still on top, 5-2, in control over Rich Anderson.
And as we said before, Carl, both wrestlers, as Mr. Colvin breaks the match, as he feels it's another stalemate and to try to precipitate more action, both wrestlers are very aware of their styles as they've worked out, like I said before, in November in their scrimmage matching and sparring in the wrestling room. So they're both aware of what moves and holds to watch out for as they wrestle. So both will be a little tentative and not to let that other person get their particular favorite move on them.
1:11 left on the clock. Very close match. Again, Anderson, defensive position, up top. Joe Marinello in control, leading by 3 points, 5-2, 1:05 left, third period. Anderson
trying to stand up for an escape. Hopefully he was going to try to get to his feet and then work for a takedown, maybe to tie the match and go 5-5 and look for an overtime period. But right now Marinello riding with 50 seconds remaining in the third period, and there's been a warning for stalling called on Anderson on the bottom.
All right, the next, if he was to be called, the next warning would be a point
awarded to Joe Marinello. That is correct. And right now he's working the legs and trying to use the arm series.
You see the clock in the background, and 30 seconds left. Mr. Anderson's going to have to do some get busy here. He's going to need some points. He trails 5-2, and we've got only 30 seconds left in the match.
And as you just pointed out, Carl, the official, Mr. Lon Coven, in his judgment, felt that Mr. Anderson was not working to secure a reversal or an escape, and has awarded Joe Marinello another point. And right now Marinello leads 6-2 with 25 seconds remaining in the third period.
Well, no matter what happens in this match, Massapequa will come out with a county champ in the 112-pound weight class.
They certainly will. Well, they knew that this afternoon. Marinello, who has won 3 matches to get to the finals with 2 falls and a 14-0 semifinal decision over Damian Garcia of Long Beach. Well, Mr. Anderson, who came from the unseeded bracket, has won 4 bouts, including 2 major decisions and a solid 4-0 decision in today's semi.
That's the countdown right now for Joe Marinello for county champ at 112 pounds.
Anderson had gotten an escape. It's now 6-3, and it looks as if Joe Marinello is going to...
And it is. It will be Joe Marinello, the county champ at 112 pounds. There is Marinello. And Rich Anderson, there you see the congratulations. Anderson, a little bit tired, a little bit disappointed, having lost to his teammate.
Yes, but I think both boys have to feel very successful in that. Rich Anderson is a 3-time county place winner, has already won this tournament, and now Joe Marinello for the first time won his.
All right, so we'll be back with more wrestling. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Now, Joe, you beat your teammate, good friend of yours. Must be a tough thing to do.
Yeah, it's tough at wrestling in the room every day. We're always going at it tough. Yeah.
Talk about what's going on here.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just pretty much riding him out, waiting for him, I don't know, to tire out so I can maybe tilt him or something. Run a half. I don't know, I was just trying my best.
It was close early, but you wore him down. Congratulations, Joe Marinello. Top seed, he wins. He goes up to Syracuse. Let's go back now to Carl and Jim.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Jim, thank you very much, Frank. Next weight class upcoming at 119 pounds. We have John Greenhall out of Massapequa. Did I pronounce that? I pronounced that right?
Yes, you
Against
did,
Paul
Carl.
Stewart in the red out of Freeport.
Paul Stewart from Freeport is with a 24-1-1 record. He's a senior. He's the top seed, and he has been handling most of his opponents as he's won 3 matches convincing, including a default win, a first period fall, and a 13-2 decision. While John Greenhow has been very effective also, as he has a pin, 19-4, and 2 close decisions in advancing to the finals.
Notice that Massapequa, this is the 4th Massapequa wrestler we've seen so far this evening. They've got quite a bit of wrestlers on tap. This is, of course, 119 pounds right now.
Right.
And Greenhall, of course, in the green, actually the blue uniform, but he's designated as green, and of course Stewart in the red uniform is red.
Right. Paul Stewart attacking the leg here, trying to convert for a takedown, and he has a single leg. Greenhall has a very good counter with this move, and with a little overhook they go out of bounds. Interesting call. The coaches tonight for Freeport,
as you look at the record of Greenhall, 26-1 as a senior out of Massapequa,
with Paul Stewart being 24-1-1, and Greenhall underneath trying for a takedown. As I was mentioned before, interesting to note with the coaches from Freeport tonight. Freeport is coached by Mr. Terry Hayes. Tonight he's letting the job being taken over by his assistants Jim Carletto and Mr. Vic Moore. Reason being, Coach Hayes' son, New York State champ last year, Jeff Hayes, wrestles for Babylon, and right now is wrestling in the Suffolk County Championships. So therefore, Coach Hayes is watching his son hopefully earn his 2nd title, and he's letting the assistants take over from Mr. Stewart.
What seems to be the problem? Are they changing the headgear right now on Greenhall?
Yeah, they are. Greenhall has a headgear problem with this is probably the snap-down headgear that comes from Coach's corner. And right now it looks like Vassatoro, one of his teammates who has just won the 105-pound weight class.
All right, watch it here. You'll see it come off.
Yeah.
And it just snapped off by Stewart.
Right, Stewart was working probably like a head tap, snapped the headgear off, and looks like it broke the chain. There's assistant coach Tony Northern.
I thought you would mention who that guy was.
I saying there's Coach Mims. I think I have to. Okay, here we go.
That's okay.
And 40 seconds remaining in the first period. We're scoreless. As Greenhall in on the leg and Stewart again trying to counter. Both wrestlers are explosive. Both wrestlers have tremendous technique.
Paul Stewart has had some experience. He's competed in the Junior Nationals, and he took 3rd place in the wrestling freestyle in the States.
Right, he certainly has. John Greenhall does freestyle wrestling also. John, when he was younger, was an outstanding gymnastics person for Nassau County, and due to a little probably emphasis and influence from his father, Sonny Greenhall, was a very well-known wrestler for Syracuse University and now works with the New York Athletic Club, persuaded his son to return to wrestling, and I'm certainly glad that they feel that he's made the proper choice as he has worked himself into the county finals with a chance of being a county champ. As we wind down the first period call with 0-0, we're going to probably have another close match.
Well, we're scoreless as the horn sounds ending the first period. We'll go to the second period. It's a 119-pound weight class. Nassau County Community College is the site for the county championships of Nassau in wrestling.
The official for this match, and Mr. Stewart chooses the down position, is Mr. Reggie Jones Sr., who has done every Nassau County wrestling tournament since 1958. I was speaking.
Intense look.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
I was speaking to Mr. Jones Sr. prior to the finals as Mr. Stewart here escapes for a 1-0 lead, and he had mentioned to me that he has officiated for over 35 years. He's 60 years of age, is in great shape, and he hopes that he can officiate for 15 more years and get to the magic 50 number.
I'll tell you one thing, the way he looks, he probably can go another 15 years. 1-0, Stewart on top. Stewart, of course, in the red trunks. Greenhall designated as in green, but wearing the blue and gold of Massapequa. You see the green ankle band around that left ankle.
Right now, Stewart is working an underhook position, trying to convert it into a takedown. He's working an underhook. He's looking for a duck under move that has been very popular for Stewart. As he's in on the leg, Greenhall, again, like I mentioned before, calls excellent counters from this, and he does a little step over, whip over, and Stewart stays with it, and now picks up a cradle, is getting a
Stewart in the
takedown.
position there.
He has Greenhall in trouble.
We haven't had a pin all night.
And this
Stewart relentless.
And Stewart will be awarded back points and now takes a 6-0 lead. That was a takedown with an inside cradle, put Greenhall on his back and received 3 points, and with 45 seconds remaining in the second period, takes a 6-0 lead.
Explain back points.
Back points, as mentioned before, Carl, can be awarded 2 ways. You can either receive 2 points or 3 points. You have to hold your opponent on his back for a 2-second count to receive 2 points. If you can hold your opponent on his back, that's both scapular or one scapular on a 45-degree angle, you will receive 3 points. Right now, Greenhall does a little sit-out turn-in and works for an escape. They're back on their feet. 30 seconds remaining in the second period, and Mr. Greenhall is going to have to start forcing the action if he expects to make a comeback in this match.
Stewart on top, 6-1. 23 seconds left in this second period. A 119-pound weight class. Nassau County Championships of Wrestling.
And with 15 seconds to go, Paul Stewart again working his underhook, and Greenhall tries to shoot underneath, but Stewart countering nicely. And with 5 seconds, Stewart again attacks.
See him really pushing down. Greenhall really pushing on the head of Stewart.
And there it is. And very
Did he
close.
award him anything at the end there?
Close
There seems
call,
to be a discussion.
but in Mr. Jones's judgment, he feels that the points were not there in control at the conclusion of the second period. Therefore, Greenhall did not receive 2 points. Coach Mims was up for that one and looking for the call, but of course did not get it.
Good look at Stewart, and you now look at Greenhall going to the defensive position as we start the third period. 6-1 Stewart on top.
Greenhall here is going to probably try to escape, get back to his feet. He might look for his sit-out turn-in and then try to work for a 4-point takedown and force this match into overtime. Right now, Stewart maintaining control on top as he follows with an underhook, and now is applying a half Nelson and maintaining control with the wrist control rod. Greenhall again coming to his feet. He's going to be working for his stand-up, and they go out of bounds, and Stewart still on top.
It looked like Greenhall was going to get out of that hole, but Stewart, with a good strong hold on him, didn't let him, and it's a minute 32 left in this third period. Stewart still on top, 6-1. Stewart out of Freeport, Greenhall out of Massapequa High School.
And again, Greenhall has got to free the ankle here. This Stewart is maintaining control. And Greenhall is going to try to get to his feet, but he's having a little difficulty at this point as Stewart maintains his control.
This match has been the closest we've had in the second period of having a pin tonight.
Yes.
Stewart had a chance. That was the closest, as I said. None of the previous 4 matches really had a chance for a pin. Everything going on the decision.
And Stewart again working aggressively as he rolled Greenhall to his back, but did not maintain what I had mentioned before, that 2-second control to be awarded the back points. As they go out of bounds with 55 seconds remaining, Mr. Greenhall is going to have to do something explosive if anticipation of his county title.
Well, Stewart out of Freeport.
Stewart now on top working an ankle breakdown, coming back with his wrist control rod. Just trying to wrestle smart here with 45 seconds to go. Doesn't want to do anything dangerously and jeopardize his chance of being a county champion, earning his first trip to Syracuse.
Two seniors on the mat. They'd both like to go to Syracuse in their final year of wrestling in high school level. 30 seconds left, and Stewart will be on his way to Syracuse.
Right.
6-1.
Both wrestlers have had county experiences. Paul Stewart was a third-place finisher last year, and John Greenhall a fourth-place finisher. So they've been here in his county tournament past years, but right now it's their first trip to the finals, and unfortunately only one can win. Greenhall again in a sit-out position, trying to do a roll, which Stewart stays with nicely. Greenhall coming to his feet, working for his escape.
Look at the hole that Stewart had on there.
Greenhall breaks free. It's 6-2, and now Greenhall is going to have to go get him.
9 seconds left in the third period, which could be the match also. Stewart just really kind of playing cat and mouse with him.
Stewart warned for stalling by Mr. Jones. Goes for an underhook. Greenhall tries to hit a headlock, and with 1 second, comes up a little short.
There you see Paul Stewart out of Freeport High School, county champ in 119 pounds with a 6-2 decision over John Greenhall of Massapequa.
Good match. Greenhall worked right at the end, tried to get his headlock, came up a little short. Congratulations to Mr. Stewart.
All right, so we'll be back with weight class at 126 pounds right after this. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Cartel here, Paul Stewart joining me, the champion here, 119 pounds. Paul, in the second period, we almost saw our first pin of the evening.
Right, yeah, well, almost.
Take a look at it here. Explain what's going on.
Well, I almost got caught, and I came out and I reached for his head, and I got a Reaper cradle, and I almost stuck him. But he squirmed out.
And you went on to win it 6-2. There's a lot of excitement at Freeport High School these days. You're on your way to Syracuse for the state championship. Freeport basketball team is in the playoffs.
True.
Best of luck to you, and pass along best wishes to the team. Thanks. Carl?
All right, Frank, thanks very much. We're getting set, 126 pounds. Rob Aquilina will go against that gentleman, Ted Stachtiaris, out of Plainview, JFK, 26-0. One of the better wrestlers in the county, going up against the man in red, Jim. Rob Aquilina out of Plain Edge.
This Ted Stachtiaris is one of the best wrestlers in the county at this point. He's top seeded and has advanced with 2 pins and a 22-4 technical decision. His opponent is Rob Aquilina out of Plain Edge. Won a very close 3-3 criteria decision in the semifinals in advancing tonight.
So 2 active wrestlers here, easily identifiable because of the red and the green in their color of the school.
Right now, Stachtiaris is in on a double leg takedown, and he's been awarded 2 points.
So there you see Stachtiaris on top.
Working his arm bar, and will now trying to be putting Aquilina on his back.
Aquilina 22-4, 60-18-1 overall on the honor roll in school. And how about Ted Stachtiaris? Harvard acceptance, 94 average in the classroom. He's been recruited by Franklin and Marshall, Columbia, Penn. He could do it in the classroom as well as on the mat.
He certainly can, and I had the opportunity to work out in a 4-way scrimmage this past week with Teddy, and he said to me, Coach, I hope to get my 96th win Saturday night, and as he has 95 career wins going into this match, and he said if I'm going to be a 100 winner, I have to go to Syracuse and win up there to get it. And right now, with another inside flyaway, he looks pretty commanding as he takes a 4-1 lead and has a bar arm and is trying to turn his opponent, Mr. Aquilina, on his back. Stachtiaris does a lot of freestyle. That is the Olympic style of wrestling in the off-season, and last year was 3rd in the Eastern Regionals, which is one of the best tournaments in the nation.
20 seconds left, first period.
And
as we wind it down, 4-1 Stachtiaris on top in this match.
He's got a bar arm series. He's trying to work the tilt. The official out there, Jack Fioravante, is now signaling that the back points have been awarded. The criteria has been met. He's got a bar arm with a figure 4. We're coming close to a fall with 2 seconds remaining. A little more time, and we might have had a fall. He gets 3 points.
We might have had 3-4 seconds more on the clock. We might have seen our first pin of the night.
We certainly would have, Carl. That Stachtiaris is very aggressive and now holds a 7-1 to lead. And the official there, Jack Fioravante, was down looking for the back points and awarded Stachieris the 3 points. Incidentally, Jack Fioravante comes from the famous Fioravante wrestling brothers out of Massapequa, and brothers Tom, Rudy, Ed, and along with Jack are all county place winners. It's a very rare thing to have 4 brothers that were all Nassau County place winners. And now Jack has taken his wrestling background and now is official and is one of the better officials in Nassau County.
Start of period number 2. Stachieris in green over Aquilina in red, 7-2.
Aquilina has been awarded a point, and now Stachieris works around and gets another takedown. This could be now a takedown, let him up type of match. Again, as I pointed from the outset, Stachieris very good on his feet, as he is in the other positions, but is very skillful.
Seems a very crafty wrestler.
Very crafty, very skillful. There he works a fireman's carry dump and is put up 2 more points by official Jack Fioravante. Right now, Teddy Stachieris taking a commanding 11-4 lead. Aquilina counters with the single leg tackle, and they're on the near line here, looking for the supporting points. And once those points go out of bounds, the official will stop the action. Right now, they're momentarily in. Potentially dangerous has been called, and both wrestlers will return to their feet.
So there's a 1:06 left, second period, 11-4. Ted Stachieris out of Plainview JFK over Rob Aquilina in red from Plain Edge High School.
Right now there's a fireman's carry, high crotch, traps to a double. This Stachieris has quite a lot of technique. He is technically sound, has put a lot of time into wrestling. Wrestled his freshman year at Chaminade High School under Coach George Deglonsky, and now transferred to his hometown of Plainview, and with Coach Russo, who has done a remarkable job in his first year over there. And Teddy now is working a bar arm, trying to work aggressively as he attempts to put Mr. Aquilina on his back, and almost did there. Now has the bar arm series again working. Really seems to be tying up his opponent here, Carl, and this Aquilina, a very good wrestler from Plano, just seems to have his hands filled into Mr. Stachieris.
Jim, I know both wrestlers, of course, are very strong, but why does it seem so easy that it seems like Stachieris should be able to just turn Aquilina over from the position he's in right now?
It certainly appears that way, Carl, but Stachieris is working with all his strength, and this Aquilina is, to advance to the finals, is certainly a competitor in himself and just refuses to be turned over at that point.
Well, Stachieris with the commanding lead as we enter the last 2 minutes. The third period upcoming, 13-4 for the wrestler out of JFK Plainview, Stachieris, going up against Aquilina in red out of Plain Edge.
Aquilina attempting a takedown there. This will be a front headlock. He might do a roll-through move here. I've seen him do it quite frequently, and it's a little risky, but at that point he takes a 2-point takedown with a front headlock, releases opponent for an escape. As I mentioned before, would take down, let him up. Right now, looking for a cradle.
15-5.
Stachieris looking for a cradle, and I think he has secured it. You might, if he locks his hands here, Carl, we're going to see him on his back,
and
he certainly has. We could see the first fall in the finals. Aquilina trying valiantly to get off his back and is in a precarious situation.
Looking for that pin.
Jack Fioravante down, signaling the back points. Now is looking for the fall.
Well, 17-5 as Stachieris picks up 2 more.
Will be stopped as it's 20-5 in wrestling. A 15-point differential is known as a technical fall. Ted Stachieris wins his 96th career win. For Coach Russo, his first county champ. Congratulations. And maybe Mr. Stachieris will receive his goal of 100 next Saturday night at the War Memorial in Syracuse.
So Ted Stachieris out of Plainview JFK at 126 pounds on the technical fall is a Nassau County champ. You get a good look at him, and we'll come back. We'll try to chat with him right after this timeout. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision.
10 seconds to go in the third. Ted Stachieris wins it 20-5. Congratulations, Ted. The program says, the tournament program says that you should storm into the finals, and storm is exactly what you did.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. So much for my mom. She helped me a lot to get here. I love it for it. Feels great.
And this must also felt great. It certainly looked great. You almost had the first pin of the night.
Yeah, getting close. It was a little tough under there. Mom's got a little weak, but now I just got to look on to Syracuse next weekend for the States.
Yeah, Teddy moves on to the state finals. You can't have everything. You didn't get the pin, but this gentleman does have a career record of 96 wins, 9 losses. Teddy, best of luck in Syracuse. Carl?
All right, Frank, and we get set for our next match. Reno DeMaria, a senior out of Herrick's High School, 31-2, going up against Ray Adams out of Baldwin. Adams will have the green band around his ankle, and DeMaria with the red.
This should be a great match, Carl, in that we have the top seed in Ray Adams from Baldwin with a 30-1 record, as you mentioned, against Reno DeMaria, who is the second seed with a 31-2 record. And both boys looked good in the semifinals, and this match will probably be a close one, as most of them have been tonight. We can expect to see a lot of action as we are in a 132-pound final.
Just going back quickly, that great interview with Frank just did with Stactiaris. He's out on the mat wrestling, but he thanks his mom for bringing him the county championship, as we've got a turn of events here in this match against Adams and DeMaria.
Adams in on the leg, DeMaria trying to counter, and is in a little predicament here, and if Adams can, and DeMaria trying to turn and score a takedown of his own. If he can secure the leg in and come up with a cross body ride, he will be awarded 2 points by the official, which for this match, the 132-pound final, is Mr. Dick DeMott.
You should have seen in the semifinals Bob Goldberg, who was here tonight, athletic director over at Herrick's High School, been involved in wrestling here on the island for many, many years. He was very, very excited when DeMaria won his semifinal match. Showed a lot of interest, of course, as you have with some of the Massapequa wrestlers that we've seen tonight coming over from Berna, but Bob Goldberg, can't thank him enough for his help also, but very, very joyous as he just got a shot of Ray Adams, but he loves Reno DeMaria. He really does.
As most people do. I happen to know Reno personally, and he's a fine gentleman and has been wrestling, one of the top wrestlers in Nassau County for the past 4 years. His coach, Mr. Cliff Forziat, has put an awful lot of time in with him, as he has with all the wrestlers. And as Coach Shippos tries to spark Adams and says, let's go, Ray, get the action going.
You know, you look at the bio on Reno DeMaria. Is it unusual that you see him as all division in 84-85 at 91, 85-86, 105 all division, moves up to 126 and makes all division 86-87, and this year at 132 pounds all division.
Yes, I spoke to him about his weight gain over the years, and he's maintained a nice weight training program, and he says to me that he likes to move up in weight and keep up the strength, and he tries to work himself into top condition this way, and he's been successful at all the weight classes that he has competed in. As we have another scoreless first period, and it's 0-0. To coin toss, Mr. DeMaria has a choice. He defers to Ray Adams. Coach Shippos yells instructions, and Ray Adams adjusts his knee pads as we approach the second period.
You know, you mentioned Coach Steve Shippos of Baldwin. His son, quite a wrestler. Unfortunate this year. I believe he broke an ankle or had some leg problems. Not able to wrestle this year, but Steve Shippos has to be proud of what his son has done in the years in Nassau County wrestling.
Yes, he certainly has. And Steve Shippos and Clark Crespi, his fine assistant, have an outstanding program at Baldwin High School. And right now, Adams is trying to escape, and it's just about out, but DeMaria stepping over.
Close here.
And good wrestling. As we mentioned before, Carl, you see a lot of wrestling and sometimes no points, but right now Adams escapes.
I'll tell you one thing. You think the wrestlers are wrestling on the mat? You ought to see Steve Shippos. Animation galore on the sideline, urging Ray Adams on. He was up off his chair.
Yes, and as if this match stays as close as it is right now, as we approach the final seconds, you're going to see a lot of anticipation on both coaches' parts, especially with the score being 1-0. Adams, a nice single leg attack, has DeMaria's leg.
Shippos once again.
And DeMaria with a nice Shalley's counter has takedown, and now trying to turn Adams to his back.
Turn of events here. Turn of events for DeMaria.
And DeMaria awarded 2 points by Mr. Dick DeMott.
By far, I would have to say the most enthusiasm the crowd has shown in the matches thus far. Really getting into it. 50 seconds left, second period. There is Steve Shippos. Yeah. You could see him. He was up, hopping around. Very much involved in the action on the mat with his wrestler Ray Adams, the senior, with an overall record of 78-18. Varsity football player, defensive halfback. And right now, Ray Adams wrestling. This match is in dedication to his grandfather, who was ill in the hospital. Like to come away with the county championship for his grandfather.
DeMaria takes the top position and has a 4-1 lead with 50 seconds to go. Breaks him down with an ankle ride. And now is working up, attempting a cross-face cradle.
40 seconds left, second period. DiMaria on top.
Outstanding talent on the mat here, Carl, as the boys out there have a combined 61-3 career record in there. And right now, Adams has escaped, and we have a 4-2 match with 20 seconds remaining in the second period.
Close match between Reno DiMaria of Herrick's, Ray Adams of Baldwin.
And Adams, almost a takedown, trying to snap and spin. DiMaria counters nicely, and they're on their feet. 8 seconds remaining in the second period. As we said from the outset, this match is going to have a lot of action, and both boys are out there to be aggressive and vie for the county title. 1 second remaining, second period. DiMaria and Adams return to the center circle. DiMaria with a slight limp.
Steve Shippos briefly coming out onto the mat. He's going to talk to his wrestler, and now you see Reno DiMaria going down, and this seems to be pretty serious. Dr. Carl Friedman, doctor in attendance tonight, working what appears to be on the right knee. That is Dr. Friedman with the glasses and the white sweater there. And I didn't see what happened. I don't know if DiMaria has any kind of knee problems.
He wears a knee pad, as most of the wrestlers do, and I think what happened is Adams was in on a single leg takedown. His head might have hit the inside of his knee.
Now this is an injury timeout where they have to discuss what has happened to DiMaria, but on the other side, Shippos is now able to give some strategy. As we take another look, maybe we'll be able to capture the injury by DiMaria.
Okay, let's see.
It was the right knee. Maybe it buckled.
As he steps out of bounds there, it's hard to tell. I think the action might have happened a few seconds before as the single leg takedown attempt was counted. Right now they're taping the ankle, which leads us to believe that it's down on the ankle area, not the knee.
Let's see if we can maybe listen in on Steve Shippos talking to Ray Adams, obviously going over some strategy now.
Yeah, incidentally, an interesting thing here, as the run wrestler takes injury time.
Let's try to pick it up here.
Don't waste any time on clock.
All right, well, it got a little bit loud over there, but now does Adams go after and take advantage of this injury?
Well, in that timeout, the wrestler that asks for the injury time cannot be coached, while the wrestler who did not ask can get the coaching. As you saw, Coach Crespi, the assistant coach at Baldwin, told Mr. Adams as the third period approaches, don't spend much time on top. He's going to go to what they call a freestyle start, and he's going to let him go, listening to his coach's orders, as now he gives him the point, and it makes it 5-2, and Adams is now going to start to work his takedown attempts. And the strategy might be working, as he just about has a takedown. The points have not yet been awarded, and he has an inside cradle. DiMaria stepping over. Here comes Adams with a step over, and no takedown yet. Great action. As we said, you got the number 1 and number 2 seeds going at it. 30 wins or more for both wrestlers.
Scoreboard reads 6-4, DiMaria 30.
Takedown.
And you hear it from the crowd here at Nassau Community College with 1:27 left, third period.
Adams and DiMaria, they're going to go right down to the wire, Carl. It's going to be a battle of takedowns. DiMaria trying to work for his position with his tie-up.
Not really favoring that right ankle that Dr. Friedman taped up moments ago.
I really believe it's fine. I don't think he's concerned with it as much as he is trying to pursue a takedown here, and Adams is working on the outer edge, and both wrestlers return. DiMaria turns his back.
1 minute left in the match.
1 minute. Adams is going to start to attack with his single or double. DiMaria trying to hold him off. There's Adams in on the leg. DiMaria in a sprawl position, trying to work for an underhook.
45 seconds left, third period. 6-4, DiMaria trying to hang on against Ray Adams out of Baldwin.
Got to be careful. DiMaria might be one. Official Mr. Dick DeMott watching closely to make sure both wrestlers are trying to work for a takedown, which they have to. Again, Adams shoots. DiMaria with a spin. This could be the decisive takedown. DiMaria awarded 2 points.
8-4 with 25 seconds left in the match. DiMaria on top.
DiMaria working a half. He's still working aggressively.
15 seconds left. You hear it from the crowd. Reno DiMaria with a following here tonight. Looking to capture it at 132 pounds.
Adams escapes. Last attempt. DiMaria with a takedown.
And there it is. Look at Reno DiMaria.
And there's his dad running on the mats. A little kiss of congratulations. You love to see it.
His dad couldn't wait. Look, his dad, look at playing it up to the crowd. A showman in his own right. Reno DiMaria. Look at
mom
this.
with her kiss.
That's what it's all about. The parents are sitting right on the edge of the mat. And at 132 pounds, it's Reno DiMaria over that gentleman, Ray Adams. A real good match. Some great excitement. So Reno DiMaria now being checked upon by Dr. Friedman. Starts to limp a little bit, but he's the county champ. We'll be back and talk with him right after this. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision.
Behind him after he hurt his ankle. 1 second left in the second period. How did that happen, Reno?
I did a weird turn, came down and I heard it snap.
Well, he had to have his ankle taped up, but then you managed to come back and hang on in that third period.
Right. I didn't just hang on, I went after him.
Tell us what's taking place on our monitor.
Right now, it's third period. I'm on top. I'm leading the match. I'm just worried about holding him down, winning the match. Right now, I already had a good enough lead. He started to give up. He gave up, pretty much.
All right. Reno DiMaria, champion here. Go sit down, rest your ankle, and good luck up in Syracuse. Reno DiMaria, the champion, back to Carl and Jim.
All right, thanks very much, Frank. Next match up, 138-pound weight class. Out of Cold Spring Harbor, Brent Procida with a record of 28-4-1 on the year. The senior going up against Darren Simons of Island Trees. And Darren Simons, quite a wrestler in his own right.
He certainly is, Carl. I had the opportunity to talk to Darren at the outset of the tournament, and Darren earned his 100th career match on Friday night, and was in on a takedown there. And Darren has remarkable background. He's a 4-time county place winner. The only thing that has eluded him has been the county title, which he hopes to get tonight.
Well, he's recorded 103 wins, as you said, only 14 losses. This year went 28-1 on the mat.
Yeah, it seems that he's been wrestling in this tournament forever, and it just about has. As an 8th grader, he was moved up to the varsity with Coach Ted Peterson, the Dean of Nassau coaches, who has been coaching now for 28 years, and his fine assistant, Mr. Russ Sellen, who has done a remarkable job as Island Trees has put 3 boys in the finals here, Darren Simons being the first of the 3.
So it's Cold Spring Harbor's Brent Procida against Island Trees' Darren Simons. Procida in the red and Simons in the maroon uniform, but he has the green ankle band.
I believe they gave him the green ankle band, Carl, because he has a green headgear on tonight. That's his lucky Section 8 headgear, he told me.
Is that what he told you before
the match?
He
He
told
me, and I think it might be working. A lot of these wrestlers are superstitious, and if they believe they can do something, a lot of times they can. Right now, Darren Simons trying to work for back points. Official out there, Mr. Richie Smith, and he is awarded, made a few hand counts, but in his judgment or in estimation, not enough to record. And he's turning him over again. He has him this time. He's going to get the back points. We're close to a near fall and a pin situation, and they're going out of bounds. And they go out of bounds
with 25 seconds left in this first period.
Darren Simons was awarded the 2 points and holds a commanding 4-0 lead.
So Simons on top, 4-0. Out of Island Trees, 28-1 this year. Going up against, as we said, Brent Procida, 75-14-1 over his career at Cold Spring Harbor.
With 14 seconds remaining in the first period here, Simons again trying to work for a cradle or a Turk, and he has a Turk with the cross arm ride, and official Mr. Richie Smith is awarding back points, and Mr. Simons, who was awarded 3 points, and now takes a 7-0 lead into the second period.
It's a pretty commanding lead after just 1 period of 2 minutes of wrestling.
It certainly is, and I was speaking with coaches Peterson and Coach Sellen of Island Trees, and they mentioned that Darren has had an outstanding tournament. In his previous 3 matches, he has not surrendered 1 single point. And as we approach the second period in this match, that is also true as he gets 2 more for a 9-0 lead. And he has his opponent, Mr. Procida, on his back, again in predicament, 2 points, near fall awarded. It seems as he's scoring easily out there, and it's now 11-0. He's 4 points away from a technical fall He's 4 points away from a county title.
And that, of course, is Darren Simons that Jim Nordland is talking about, going up against Brent Procida.
Incidentally,
there you see the numbers on Darren Simons this year.
Incidentally, Darren's older brother, Larry Simons, was a county champ and state runner-up back in 1984 in the 250-pound weight class. Darren Simons began his career at 91 as an 8th grader and is now into the 138-pound weight class. And has got...
And of course, both wrestlers are seniors, and you talk about Darren Simons wrestling for Ted Peterson. Boy, how many years has Peterson been over at Island Trees?
Yeah.
I think Bob Goldberg told me it might be something like 35 or 38 years.
Certainly the dean of coaches, and Darren Simons,
there it is,
technical fall, 16-0, has earned his county title.
A real good match for Darren Simons, winning the county title, as Jim said, at 138 pounds. Congratulations are also in order for Brent Procida. Not bad to be the runner-up in the county championship.
Certainly isn't, Carl, and he has lost to a former opponent in Darren Simons. He said he's coming into the tournament to win, and win he did. And that unscored upon record remains intact as...
All right, so you just
16-0.
saw the 138-pounders, and we'll be back with the next weight class. We're coming up to the 145-pounders right after this. You're watching the County Championship Wrestling on Cablevision.
Island Trees wins it on a technical fall in the second period, 16-0. Darren, it was you from the beginning right to the end with a minute to go in the second.
Yeah, kid's tough. Just outmoved them.
We'll take a look at our highlights on the monitor. Darren picked up his 104th career victory against 14 losses.
It's amazing, I love it.
Well, there he is, sharing in the jubilation with the rest of the crowd. Darren's on his way up to Syracuse. Best of luck up there, Darren. Okay, Carl Reuter and Jim on their way with the play-by-play.
All right, Frank, thanks very much. And we really have to respect the guys coming over. As you look at Alex Turan, senior, Long Beach High School, 27-1. Quite a mark. He's the man with the red guard going up against gentleman out of Lynbrook, John Bayens.
And Turan quickly spins behind, lifts his opponent, and out of bounds they go. Official Mark Piven in great position to ensure the wrestler's safety. And you look at John Bayens with a 26-3-1 record.
In all respect to the wrestlers as they go over and talk with Frank after their match, really out of breath, and of course the county championship on their mind. It's tough to talk after you're wrestling out on that mat, going up against one-on-one with your opponent.
It certainly is. And as you see Mr. Turan here from Long Beach, who was born in Ecuador, an outstanding soccer player also with a remarkable 27-1 record. The one loss was a 7-6 decision to Mr. Darren Simons, who you just saw moments ago. So you're looking at a high-quality, outstanding, talented wrestler from Long Beach High School.
And out of Lynbrook, of course, John Bayens is
he's
senior.
in on the leg, trying to secure a single leg takedown. Turan countering with an ankle hold. Try to work a little cross face in here and perhaps spin behind Mr. Piven, Mark Piven, who also officiates college matches. Just waiting for some type of action, and Bayens again trying to secure a takedown. Turan breaks the grip, and now we'll try to work free.
See the up-close look between the two wrestlers, Turan and Bayens.
Bayens shoots again. Turan now working the head for his head snap. He shoots for his takedown. Both wrestlers being aggressive, Carl. It's just that they can't seem to score or maintain that opening takedown as Turan is trying to work behind him, and they approach out of bounds. Mark Piven again in good position to stop the wrestlers.
Well, they've gone a minute and 30 right now without scoring in this first period. We've seen a couple of matches go this way. Sort of a feeling out process in the first minute or so.
Turan in on the leg, trying to keep him in bounds, and they go out of bounds.
And Turan not too happy with that call as he looked at the official as they walked back to the center of the mat.
Yeah, I feel he must have thought that if he was able to hold the leg, he probably could have converted it into a takedown of his own. With a nice fireman's carry takedown, he scores his 2 points with 12 seconds remaining in the first period. Very explosive. He went to shoot the takedown, got it. Bayens up with a quick stand-up, tries to roll, lands on his face,
head.
and we're going to have
hurt his head.
He landed quite hard, Carl.
Oh,
Turan,
boy.
a tough competitor.
Dr. Friedman out on the mat very quickly, and that is John Baines out of Lynbrook. He came down on that head. I believe Turan tried to turn him over, and here it is, Jim.
Here it is. Baines had attempted a stand-up move to work for his escape, then tries to hit a roll and roll to his head and shoulder area.
And you see him right away grab for that head.
Yes, I really believe he's in pain out there, and I just hope that he's okay and that he can continue as we're in the 145-pound championship match as Coach Reggie Jones Jr. and Paul Gillespie attend their wrestler, Alex Turan. Fine program in Long Beach. As we started with a close county tournament, Long Beach has now taken a commanding lead as we see John Baines being attended.
Well, that's what you wanted to see him at least get up, and Doc Friedman working on him, and hopefully he'll be okay. But you started to mention about the Long Beach team, Jim.
Right.
While we have a moment, you could talk about that.
Long Beach, with outstanding coach Gillespie and Coach Jones, have just earned their 5th county title, along with 3 dual meet titles over the past 10 years, is remarkable, including 5 New York State champions. And I asked Coach Gillespie and Coach Jones, as we see John Baines being attended there, what do they feel like their program has been successful over these years? They just feel that they've had hard-working, dedicated kids that are willing to put the time and effort in, and they certainly, as coaches, have.
Well,
John
there's
Baines,
a lot of relieved people right now. Baines going with that headgear. I guess Doc Friedman said, yep, he's okay, and he's going to continue in this match.
It's certainly good that he did, Carl, because they were only allowed 2-minute injury time, and I believe he used up 1:30 of his. So if this injury has a reoccurrence, we have to be very careful with the time, and that probably has 30 seconds remaining on the clock.
Well, it's great that he's back out there again. The headgear is on. He's ready to go. 2 seconds remain in that first period, or in the first period.
Alex Turan now will just try to maintain a ride and try not to let Mr. Baines escape and get any points. Baines again with a quick stand-up, and the first period ends with Alex Turan with a 2-0 lead.
These two gentlemen were expected to meet here in the finals in this weight class at 145 pounds. So it's really not a surprise to the coaches and people that are in attendance here watching this match.
Right, again, they were Mr. Turan, Alex Turan out of Long Beach High School was the 1st seed, and John Baines out of Lynbrook High School was the 2nd seed. And both wrestlers have earned up to their seeding as they approach the finals.
As Baines' headgear comes off, he'll readjust that strap. With 1:51 left, 2nd period. He's having trouble there. But let it be the strap on his headgear rather than him not being able to continue on that hard fall he took moments ago.
That certainly is correct. As the headgear gets readjusted, and we continue with the action as we are midway through the 2nd period. Both wrestlers again on their feet working for the takedown position. Turan
coming back aggressively after that injury timeout. No holds barred here for him. He's got to get back in it as that headgear again comes off.
As we said before, Carl, it's a common problem. It's in the rules of wrestling that each boy is required to wear the headgear, of course, for protection. As you saw the first period where he landed on his head area, I'm sure the headgear had ensured some of that safety.
Let me ask you something. A wrestler out like Turan, he wants to get into the action. He wants to try to build up some momentum. He would like to get into the flow of things. How much of a distraction is this with his headgear falling off?
Remarkably, it is a distraction. As you can see, exactly what you had said, Carl. There's the tap. He wants that action to continue. The stop and go is not what Turan looks for. It's not his style. He's very aggressive. He was a county runner-up last year and had a great aggressive match, of course, with the outstanding Tommy Ryan just being a little too much for him. But that's the same type of match he wants to wrestle here tonight. He's trying to force the action and spinning around looking for a front headlock takedown on John Baines, and Turan is in better position now as he tries to get front headlock to a cradle. Can't seem to get it, but he works his snap and spin, and Mark Piven awards Alex Turan 2 points and now takes a 4-0 lead with 50 seconds remaining in the 2nd period.
See Turan on top in the blue, out of Long Beach, going against John Baines out of Lynbrook in the green uniform.
They're going to have to be concerned here, Carl, with the injury time, as John Baines again has asked for injury time. In the rules of wrestling, if a wrestler asks for it, the officials have to award him. And they, like I said, Jack Fioravanti, the official with the clock there, will walk around and let them know how much time has elapsed.
And you're allowed 2 minutes of injury time during the course of a match.
That is correct.
And of course, which most of that elapsed on that fall before. You said probably about a minute and a half, so he only has about 20 seconds left of injury time.
Yes, he's going to have to be concerned. I don't know if he can take another injury time. If he does, they might have to stop the match and award Turan the championship. Right now, Baines again is trying to roll. Turan maintaining control on top as we approach 30 seconds in the second period.
4-0, Turan on top.
Baines has worked for an escape, and Turan back immediately on the legs, working for another takedown. And if he can get behind the arm and clear it, Baines comes up with the leg. John Baines.
Baines working on that left leg, looking for some leverage there. Down to 10 seconds in the second period with Turan on top, 4-1.
With 5 seconds, official Mark Piven is looking for control, and right now they're almost in a stalemate position as the period comes to a conclusion with Turan a 4-1 lead.
So they'll go to the third period, and just a little bit bruised over there is John Baines. He's had some tough luck in this match so far, but nevertheless still in the match, trailing by only 3 at 4-1 as we approach the what could be last 2 minutes of the match. And there is Baines, the defensive position on the bottom.
Both boys have had impressive records coming in here, with Turan with 3 decisions, including a 25 technical fall in the quarterfinals and an impressive 10-5 semifinal decision, while in the lower bracket, John Baines advanced with a 10-6 decision. So both boys are able to score points. However, in this match, it's relatively close due to the high caliber of their ability. Turan again on his feet will probably work the head and then attack the legs for his takedown. As he shoots in, Baines counters with an underhook.
See how aggressive Turan really is. You mentioned that he's the more aggressive wrestler in this match, but he is non-stop. He wants to wrestle continuously.
I've watched him work out and wrestle for the past 3 years. He's in excellent shape. Comes from his soccer background, which he's an outstanding soccer player, and the fine program that Coach Jones and Gillespie have instilled over at that Long Beach High School. Now we're going to get a warning held against John Baines as we have a minute 30 remaining in this third and final period.
1:30 on the clock. Alex Turan out of Long Beach on top of John Baines of Lynbrook, 4-2 in the 145-pound weight class, the finals of the Nassau County Championships.
Turan still being aggressive as he
could
again,
get him here.
Another fireman's carry takedown, and 2 more points awarded to Mr. Turan. That's Alex Turan. Has a younger brother who was also county place winner, 4th at 119-pounders, and I'm talking about Alan Turan. Right now, John Baines in the bottom position is going to have to start moving as we approach 50 seconds in this period.
See Turan trying to spin Baines over. They're really going at it there.
They certainly are, and they're near the out-of-bound line there.
Seems to be in a little bit of a stalemate there at that point.
Again, Mark Piven in good position to keep the boys from falling out of bounds. With 38 seconds remaining, Alex Turan is going to try to maintain control in the top position and have Long Beach earn their first county title tonight, and would be Coach Gillespie's and Coach Jones' 17th county champ. And maybe Turan could go upstate and become their 6th New York State champ. Last year, Long Beach High School had 2 state champs in Rich Santana, now at Syracuse University, and the impressive Scotty Graham. There's a nice move. It's called a claw. He's driving Baines to his back. As you said, Carl, he is aggressive. We could have a near fall position here, and they go out of bounds, and Turan will receive back points from official Mark Piven, and Baines with an escape, which now makes the score 8-3.
And only 20 seconds left now in the match. So it looks like Alex Turan, who said lost last year to Tommy Ryan, and everybody lost to Tommy Ryan.
Right.
Looks like he'll capture his first county championship. Clock winding down. You hear the crowd and the clock, and they'll tell you the story when this one is over. It's going to be Alex Turan.
And John Baines with the last step over comes up a little short. Alex Turan, 1988 Nassau County champion with an 8-3 score.
So congratulations in order. Turan fought a great match. You got to give credit to Baines. He got injured, took some timeouts, and the jubilation, the joy of the county championship once again as you see it on your screen. So we will be back with more wrestling from Nassau Community College right after this timeout. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision.
145-pound weight class, Alex Turan, and Alex just told me that this was his toughest match of the year.
Yeah, it was. I've been wrestling 67 all year, slow guys, you know. And now come out here, wrestle 45. It's like I'm an old man, but I put a lot of hard work into it. The coaches helped me, my girlfriend helped me, everybody helped me through this year, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, there he is, Alex Turan, the winner, 145 pounds. Let's go back to Carl and Jim.
All right, Frank, Jim, almost as if it was a prepared speech. He's an old man, I don't know. Yeah. Ron Hartung, the senior, out of Island Trees, going against Robert Drake in Long Beach. Jim, you said this might be the best match of the evening.
It certainly could be. The Mat Flap Wrestling Program touted this one to be the top match of the final. They both met last week. Drake has one loss. That's the Long Beach boy who's now in a leg and trying to convert a takedown on Ron Hartung. And he's trying to lift him up. Very strong boy. Has him in the air.
That is Drake, who is carrying Hartung on his back.
And he's going to have to try to bring him down, otherwise they could call a stalemate here. And he does bring him down, and they can't seem to secure a position. As I was mentioning, Carl, they met last week in an exciting final of their qualifying tournament in which Ron Hartung was awarded a 7-6 outstanding victory and also received the outstanding wrestler. Ron Hartung, Island Trees High School, nicknamed Archie. His off-season sport is fishing, but he's quite a wrestler.
Well, he's quite a wrestler or he wouldn't be here. This is the county championship. 155 pounds, Ron Hartung, Robert Drake. Drake in the blue, Hartung in the red.
Hartung in on the single, trying to convert. He's very effective on his feet. He has a great single leg takedown, great fireman's carry. Robert Drake, a junior, very good counter wrestler. Right now he's trying to maintain that control.
And there you hear the crowd getting behind this one.
And I think
I'm trying to pick up who it's actually for, and there he got kind of poked in the eye by Drake. Hartung seems to be okay. Very vocal crowd for this match at 155.
And Hartung in on a single. As I mentioned before, Carl, very good on his feet. Good takedown wrestler. He's going to try to keep him in bounds. Can't seem to secure it. He might go off the mat here, and no takedown.
A lot of action, but no points with only 8 seconds left in this first period. We're working our way up at 155. The big boys are coming up.
Boy, that was a good first period. A lot of wrestling action. Unfortunately, no points scored for either boy, but they're both aware of each other's ability. As I mentioned before, they met last week with Hartung, a close 7-6 victor. As we approach the second period, Hartung will be in the down position, try to work for his stand-up or his reversal, as Drake takes the top.
So no score through the first 2 minutes of this match between Ron Hartung in the red against Robert Drake of Long Beach in the blue.
Ooh, Hartung, they stopped. 1 point was awarded to Ron Hartung for an illegal move, unnecessary roughness on the part of Mr. Robert Drake.
Are the coaches allowed to come out onto the mat like they do, Jim? I mean, they come out pretty close to that circled area.
Well, they're not supposed to, but on a move like that and a kind of call like that where they're really worried about their wrestler's safety, I really don't think you can blame them. As Coach Peterson and Coach Sellen were a little annoyed at that type of action. They don't want their boy getting hurt.
I don't know if I would argue with Coach Peterson. He probably knows all the ropes. He's been around a few years, as we said.
He certainly does. Fine man, has done an outstanding job and has the respect of everyone in Nassau County. Right now, Robert Drake, who has lost at one point on the unnecessary roughness call by referee Jack Viavante, is on top, and they go out of bounds.
Minute and a half remaining, second period in the 155-pound weight class. Drake of Long Beach in blue, Hartung of Island Trees in the red. Hartung in the defensive position.
Again, he lifts him, brings him down with force. This time the move is okay, according to Jack Viavante, the official. Hartung now is in the bottom position and seems to be being tied up as Robert Drake's applying a half Nelson spiral type ride, trying to work him over for 2 points. Now works the bar arm series. He's trying to keep him inbounds and work for his 2 points.
A minute exactly remaining in this second period. Not much scoring at all.
And right now they're on the edge. Official looking for the supporting points going out, and they go out with 50 seconds remaining in the second period. We could probably expect to see Ron Hartung try to do a stand-up here, and we should be ready for that type of counter, which is called a lift and spiral ride by Robert Drake of Long Beach High School.
So the crowd in anticipation, you see both wrestlers getting a chance to get a breather there, and you really don't get much of a chance to catch your breath in wrestling. Virtually no time between periods at all.
Very little. They're out there for 6 minutes. Of course, the match could end at the onset of a pin or a fall, but most wrestlers have to expect to wrestle 6, and if they ever had to go in overtime, which this match just might well do, they would wrestle for 3 minutes, and then it would have to go for a total of 9. Right now, Robert Drake commanding top position, really working his ride. Hartung working to escape, almost turns in, but Drake maintains that top position for 25 seconds. Ron Hartung looking to score here. He's working a step over, but Robert Drake countering nicely and maintains. Right now, we're going to get a warning for stalling.
So warning goes to Drake of Long Beach. Next one will be a point awarded to Hartung.
We feel the referee, Jack Fioravanti, must feel in his judgment that Ron Hartung has not been able to move on the bottom, and that Robert Drake is not trying to work aggressively to work for his fall. That is why that warning was called. With 19 seconds to go, we can look for some action here as Hartung will try to escape and build to his slight 1-0 lead.
Hartung over the years, 81-18 in career record at Island Trees, and for Drake, 57-15. But both wrestlers came in combined record in this match at 52-2.
Pretty impressive, as we said. They have a lot of respect for each other. They know their abilities. And as we go into the third period with a slight 1-0 lead, we can expect this match to be close, right down to the finish.
This one will go to the wire, and as I said before, the crowd will start to react as you see Hartung with a slim 1-0 lead. As the clock winds and the match stays this close, you'll hear some people cheering out of those seats in hopes of effort to get their wrestler going.
Ron Hartung has let Robert Drake escape. Ron Hartung again feels that he might be superior with his takedown, so he's going to pursue this third period on his feet. Right now it's 1-1, and both boys looking for a key takedown that could earn them a county title. Hartung again attacking. Again, you have to be aware that Robert Drake has been warned for stalling and has to be aggressive. Otherwise...
The referee coming in. Almost like a head slap.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a head tap, but what happens sometimes, Carl, the wrestlers start to use their fingers, which is really not permitted, and they have to be concerned. Ron Hartung again in the leg, but this can't seem to convert this takedown. As Robert Drake strong, very defensive at this position. Hartung, he can keep him on, might be able to secure a takedown. This is where they were at the end of the first period. Looks like Drake's trying to get out.
Only have a minute 3 left in this match, third period. And now Paul Gillespie not happy with the official's call, chatting with him on the side.
I feel Coach Gillespie might have felt that they were going to award Hartung a point for his wrestler not working to keep the action going, but fortunately that point was not awarded, and we're still deadlocked at 1.
Inside a minute at 50 seconds.
A lot of head tapping going on and a few takedown shots. Now Coach Peterson and Coach Sellen are up. As we said,
Coach Sellen in the foreground there.
They're on their knees with 35 seconds to go. Hartung applying a quarter Nelson. He's going to try to work that through a snap down spin.
Counting it down with 25 left. 1-1. 155 pounds. Drake against Hartung.
Hartung in on a single. A good opportunity to score here, but Drake trying to kick out with 15 seconds to go. Will he get...
8 seconds.
8 seconds. Drake puts the overhook in.
And it looks like we might see an overtime coming up.
We are going to see overtime.
And the crowd, assistant coach Russ Sellen is not happy. Not happy at all. And there is Russ.
Coach Sellen was looking for what is called fleeing the mat, which could be awarded if the referee, in this case it's Jack Fioravanti, in his judgment, which happens quite often in these matches, felt that Drake was avoiding the action. However, Mr. Fioravanti did not feel in his judgment that he was. We're deadlocked at 1, and there's Coach Gillespie and Coach
What
Jones.
are they actually doing there with their wrestler Drake? What are they doing to his arms there, Jim?
Well, they're massaging. This boy, as I mentioned before, he's a junior. He's very strong. Bench presses 290 pounds from Long Beach High School, and they're trying to loosen his muscles up so that they don't tighten up. As I said from the outset, this is going to be a close match, and we are now in our first overtime, which could come down to what is known as referee's criteria.
All right, now what is the actual situation now? We go 1, 1, and 1 in the overtime?
Exactly, Carl. They wrestle for 3 one-minute periods, and in those 3 one-minute periods, it's considered a new match. At the conclusion of those 3 periods, if the score is still deadlocked, they revert back to the bout sheet and look for points that are awarded on technical merit. As right now, they would look for who has earned a takedown or a near fall. But in this case, no one has earned a near fall or a takedown. So right now, it's going to be down to escapes. However, both boys have received 1 point. So this overtime match is going to be decided what happens in these final 3 minutes.
We told you there was a big crowd on hand. You got to look at it. We're in the first overtime between Drake of Long Beach, Hartung of Island Trees, 155-pound weight class.
And Hartung,
they are real. Hartung's got quite a rooting section. 35 seconds.
And out of bounds they go, and they're both up.
This is where it really gets exciting, because now you are into the overtime, and this is where training and conditioning, I guess, really comes in hand, because now you're into, you had the 6 minutes, now you've got the final 3, so they're going 9 minutes on the mat.
It's going to be very interesting as Hartung is in on the leg. Again, right now, if this match ends, you're going to have to look for the warning for stalling. Both wrestlers are going to be aggressive here as they're going to try to win this match in overtime and not rely on the criteria. And Robert Drake has taken a 2-0 lead with 10 seconds remaining in the first period. As Hartung had dropped his head and Drake was able to spin behind. And with 5 seconds remaining, it looks like he's going to take a 2-0 lead going into the second period.
So Drake with the 2-0 lead at the end of the first 1-minute overtime. We get set for the second.
Now, in the criteria, as it is listed, if a wrestler has done something in unsportsmanlike conduct, the other wrestler would be awarded the victory. The second criteria is near falls, and right now we have to look at what has just happened. And the third criteria is the takedowns. So if this match ends in a tie, it could revert back to the takedown that Robert Drake just was awarded there at the outset of the first period. They're on their feet as we approach the second period. Hartung now is in, and the match has stopped. And this warning is important because it's going to force...
Why is that whistle there? What is the call on this?
The official, Jack Fioravanti, felt that Robert Drake was backing up, trying to hold on to his 2-0 lead, and that Ron Hartung was aggressive. Therefore, he warned him. Again, Hartung in on the leg. Drake countering with an overhook. He's going to spin up. And we have another takedown.
That's 4-0 now for Drake with 30 seconds left. Second overtime.
Hartung coming out in the switch position, goes back to his turning, and Drake seems to be riding him fairly tough on top. Now applies the bar arm. And they stop it. And they award Hartung 1 point red.
So that's 4-1 now.
4-1.
Drake with 16 seconds left, second overtime. Obviously, Drake, the more aggressive wrestler since we started this overtime.
Yeah, but unfortunately there, Carl, he just lost a point. What in the referee's judgment was constituted as stalling. He must have felt that the referee was not trying to turn the man. And right now, Drake, with 10 seconds remaining in the second period, holds a 4-1 lead. Hartung is trying to escape. This Robert Drake, as I said, is a very strong wrestler. maintaining control on top. We have 1 minute to wrestle as we approach the third period. The boys have wrestled now for 8 minutes, so conditioning is going to play a major factor as we get down to the final 1 minute of wrestling.
You know, Jim, we've seen a lot of stalls tonight. Is it actually used as a tactic by the wrestlers? Are they almost saying, yeah, I'll give up 1 point just to catch your breath for a while?
Very good point, Carl. A lot of times they do. They just don't want to jeopardize themselves, put themselves in a bad situation, and they will give up the warning and then give up the point. However, you see Robert Drake coming right back, shooting in. He's got a single leg takedown, converting it into a double. Ron Hartung trying to hang on. And we might have a stalemate called by the official if he feels in his judgment that no action as the stalemate is called.
Drake on top, 5-1, 37 seconds left in the third overtime. Looks like Drake, if he can hold him off for those 37, he'll be the county champ at 155 pounds. Drake, of course, in the blue out of Long Beach. Hartung in the red out of Island Trees High School.
Hartung now has got 25 seconds. If he's going to earn a county championship, he's going to have to take him down and put him on his back. And here he goes. This Drake has worked that overhook well throughout the match. Now has worked it overhook to a quarter. A little arm drag spin. Hartung shoots back in.
12
Drake
seconds.
Spins. And Drake now gets 2 more points, and that could be the decisive 2 points.
With time running out, Drake on top, 7-1. 7-2 now, and that's it.
7-2. Robert Drake.
In overtime, it's Robert Drake, county champ at 155. Crowd not liking it. I would think that Hartung was the crowd favorite, but there's the congratulations on the mat. Robert Drake, your county champ at 155 pounds. Congratulations to Robert Drake. We'll come back. We'll try to chat with him right after this timeout. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Here with Robert Drake, the winner in overtime, 7-2. Rob, there was a bit of goings-on at the end of regulation. What actually happened there? Why were people upset?
It's hard to win. Then overtime just went 6 minutes. You don't want to go now 3 more. But I did twice today. I went through no problem. And I knew I could go through, but I didn't think he did.
I think we better let Robert Drake go sit down. He's just wrestled 9 minutes. He's on his way to Syracuse. Congratulations, Rob. Okay, Carl.
All right, Frank, thanks very much. He is exhausted after that one. Coming up, 167 pounds now. Keith Panetti out of Calhoun High School. Bobby Carrillo out of Mepham High School. Panetti, just a junior. Carrillo, the senior. And Carrillo, an undefeated wrestler this year at 26-0.
He certainly is. He's an outstanding wrestler from Mepham High School, which has had 50 county champs and 10 state champs in one of the better programs in Nassau County with John Walters and assistant coach Mike Mascara.
They've been in the, I guess, pretty much, aside from the individuals, but also the team standpoint, they've been top gun around Nassau County for many, many years.
They certainly have. Tradition at the famous late Sprig Gardner had started. Coach Kenny Hunt, unfortunately, passed away recently, has continued, and now Coach John Walters in his 12th year at Mepham High School has certainly maintained. An interesting story on Keith Panetti, a junior. He was unseeded to advance to the finals. He has won 4 matches, including a 6-1 decision over top-seeded Sean O'Sullivan. While on the other half of the bracket, Bob Carrillo defeated Kurt Heimbrecht, the 2nd seed. Carrillo had been the 3rd seed and had made the finals.
Carrillo, of course, in the maroon, which is considered the red, and of course Panetti in blue.
On the takedown attempt, and he gets it. He shot a fireman's carry. Panetti tried to counter with an overhook, but Carrillo stayed with it. Now 2-0 as they go out of bounds with 50 seconds remaining in the first period.
So Bobby Carrillo, that's really Keith Panetti, the junior out of Calhoun High School, 24-6 this year, 41-13 overall. Bobby Carrillo out of Mepham now on top in the offensive position, 51-5 overall record.
Bob Carrillo on top. Mepham is known, they try to work legs and cradles on top, and I'm sure Bob Carrillo, being a well-coached Mepham wrestler, will probably work the same type of style as, again, they go out of bounds. Referee for this night's match at 167-pound championship, Lon Colvin.
So again, Panetti, varsity football player, varsity lacrosse last 2 years, Scholar Athlete Award on the football team this year. He's been wrestling for 2 years, is also on the honor roll. It's done it
And
all.
right now, Panetti has him in trouble and gets a reversal and perhaps a class call. And he is awarded the class call by the official in the sense that Bob Quill had locked his hand, which is a technical violation. You cannot use a lock of hands while you're in the top or offensive position. So right now,
Scoreboard showing 3-2 now. Favor of Panetti with 10 seconds left in this first period.
and now it's 3-3. They had corrected it with that award, that point awarded for the class. And Carrillo had escaped, trying to work a snap down, pancake move. And we're going to end this first period called 3-3 with a lot of action for 2 minutes.
I was going to just say, very active first period, 3-3. Surprised by the score with the senior going up against the junior in Panetti?
Yeah, I certainly am, but as I said before, this Panetti had come from an outside bracket. He's the only wrestler to, well, actually, Rich Anderson from Massapequa also came the same route. He has won 4 matches and had to defeat the top seed to get here. So he really doesn't hold any respect for anyone along the way. And if he feels he could beat the first seed, I'm sure in his mind he feels he could beat the third seed. And with 3-3 at the end of the first, I think what he has in his mind is pretty accurate.
Well, Bobby Carrillo out of Mepham High School, the senior.
And they're back on their feet. Panetti with an escape, and Carrillo again on that, lifts him up with a nice takedown there. Double leg lift, and now working on top, working for that Mepham cradle as we've seen over the years.
Has that been a trademark of the Mepham wrestling program over the last, I guess, 15 or 18 years?
It certainly has, and it's funny that you say that, but when you see a coach that goes to a program that, and Panetti, this Panetti is some scrappy wrestler and is awarded 2 points for a reversal. As I was mentioning, as you see a program change with the coach, you'll also see those wrestlers in that program start to adapt and use moves that coach probably liked or favored when he was competing in his wrestling days.
1:25 in this second period remaining. 6-5. Panetti is on top of Bobby Carrillo. Keith Panetti, the junior, out of Calhoun, on top of the senior Bobby Carrillo out of Mepham High School.
Now Carrillo is down, and he's going to have to work for his reversal. And of course, Keith Panetti now working on top. He's coached by Dean Sicaro. Dean, a former county champ out of Calhoun High School himself and state runner-up. And here we have an escape. 1 point awarded to Carrillo. And that'll knock the score at 6 with 52 seconds remaining in the second period.
This is the 11th match of the night and yet to have a pin. We've gone through every weight class beginning at 91. We're now in 167. We've had a few close calls, but no pins yet.
Yeah, I think, Carl, if you look back, I think we've had a couple of outstanding wrestlers out there, and I think it's a tribute to both wrestlers that make the finals here in this competitive Nassau County tournament, that the wrestling is so good that it's very hard for one of them to actually pin the other one. Right now, Panetti's trying to secure a single leg takedown, but Carrillo with a nice snap down, spin behind counter. It takes a 2-point lead, now leads 8-6, and he has a cradle lock. If he can turn him, nope, he lost it with 12 seconds to go. He's probably going to try to ride and maintain his 8-6 lead. But this Panetti is working hard to get out in a stand-up position. 3 seconds.
Carrillo, the senior, will now take a 2-point advantage into the third period, leading Keith Panetti by the score of 8. So you see them talking to one another as they get set for the third period of action. 2 minutes on the clock as Panetti and Carrillo await the coin flip to determine positioning for the start of the third period.
And with 8-6, Mepham High School's Bob Carrillo will be in the down position or the defensive position, and will try to add to that lead and probably work type of reversal, which is termed the Granby roll or a switch. And here we have the roll series trying to be set up, but Panetti is working very tough on top. Carrillo stands up, is trying to work for escape, and is awarded the point, and now takes a 9-6 lead.
So Carrillo, who at one point was trailing 6-5, has scored 4 straight points to take that 3-point advantage with only 1:40 left now in this third period.
Panetti's going to have to start trying to work and attack and then start to make up for this 3-point deficit with a minute and a half to go in this third and final period. Throws by, cannot convert it to takedown. Carrillo shoots both wrestlers out of bounds.
Panetti seeming a little bit more tired right now, taking a little bit more time to get up off the mat.
There's the coach I was talking about before. That's Mr. Dean Sicaro with his assistant, Tom Picarillo.
Two concerned coaches looking on. Nassau County Community College is the site for the wrestling championships. The County of Nassau, 1988. The winners, of course, advancing to the state championships next week to be held in Syracuse.
Here you see referee Lon Coven warning Bob Carrillo, stalling, which is an infraction. He felt that he was blocking with his forearms, preventing Panetti to advance. Carrillo now takes a shot. Panetti tries to counter. With 50 seconds to go, Panetti's going to have to force the action. He's going to try to make up the 3 points that he trails with 45 seconds to go in the match.
No, it sounds like a lot, the 3 points with only 40 seconds left, but a lot can happen in those 35 or 40 seconds.
It certainly can, Carl. You could score four to 5 points in a matter of 5 seconds with any one given move. And right now, I think Keith Panetti's going to have to start to look for that one key move. However, he just can't seem to penetrate in on Bob Carrillo, and Carrillo again is tying up his head with close scrutiny from the officials.
Well, Carrillo, the senior, wants to go to Syracuse.
Ooh.
Panetti, the junior, has next year, and there's only 12 seconds left.
And Carrillo again tying him up, wrestling smart, a little on the defensive side, but an attempt, takedown attempt with a headlock. It was a miss, and Carrillo picks up 2 more points and will be 11-6 victor.
So 167 pounds is now complete. The Nassau County champ for 1988. Bobby Carrillo out of Mepham High School defeating Keith Panetti, the junior out of Calhoun. So 167 is complete. We've got 177 pounds coming up next. Right after this timeout, you're watching the Nassau County High School Wrestling Championships on Cablevision.
Carrillo, the champion, 167 pounds, undefeated. You certainly earned your trip up to Syracuse.
Thank you. Just, I've been working real hard in practice. And out there on the mat, felt this might be my year.
It was close in the first period, tied at 3, but you opened things up, and here's some of the action.
Yeah, he missed that headlock right at the end. I was happy to see that. We were all sweaty. I couldn't really hit any shots. It was too sweaty out there.
Bobby, congratulations. Best of luck up in Syracuse. Go get him.
Thank you very much.
And go get him, Carl and Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Frank Cortali. Mark Moore, you're looking at him out of Freeport High School, the senior. Outstanding record this year, 26-3. But his work cut out for him because he's going up against John Franz of Island Trees, defending county champion. We talked about him at the start. One of the best the island has seen in a couple of years.
Certainly is, Carl. And we have a quick timeout here as John Franz is hit into Mark Moore's mouth and a little mouth guard adjustment. As I mentioned here, we see that's his father. That's Mr. Vic Moore, Mark's father, who, along with assistant coach Jim Coletto, is taking over the coaching reins tonight as Coach Hayes from Freeport is out watching his son hopefully successfully defend his county and state championship as we go back to the action. Mark Moore attempting a takedown with an underhook here. Franz working, they'll work back into the center.
John Franz out of Island Trees High School, defending county champ, going up against Mark Moore, trying to improve. As the senior, he'd like to get upstate, like to pursue medicine, wants to major in medicine when he goes off to college.
John Franz in on a takedown. John Franz has advanced to the finals with 3 falls in his 3 bouts going into this, as Mark Moore had a close 3-2 victory over Charlie Davis from Long Beach, and both wrestlers returned to the center.
So John Franz pretty much on the right part of your screen, Moore on the left.
John Franz with the red knee pads has been awarded the green anklet, and Mark Moore with the black knee pad is the red anklet.
Well, we could just say Moore is in red with the red shoes.
That's yes. John Franz attempting his favorite takedown, which is known as a fireman's carry dump, and they go out of bounds both up.
How do you size up this match? We have the defending county champ. What kind of wrestler is a Mark Moore as we look at him? Can he beat a John Franz? Does he have enough to take the title in 1988?
He certainly could, Carl. I feel in the program from the tournament had mentioned that John Franz would be the favorite, being returning champ. He certainly should be. Mark Moore, unfortunately, had a shoulder injury last year and was forced out of the tournament, but has been one of the top wrestlers in the county for the past 2 years. To earn this final here he's going to be out there looking for his victory. And right now, with 25 seconds to go in the first period, being scoreless, this match is opened up for grabs. Again, France comes in for his underhook takedown, and Mark Moore counters nicely.
I believe Vic Moore is, he's as active as his son Mark is on the mat. Vic Moore urging some encouragement onto Mark, going up against the defending county champ and John Franz out of Island Trees. Winding it down in period number 1 with no score. And that's how it'll stand as we go to the second period. The coin flip for the positioning.
And it's Mark Moore defers his choice, and John Franz will take the down position and try to score from there. The winner of this bout here at 177 will, of course, as all the other champions, the 14 individual champions, will advance to Syracuse, which at 177 pounds is perhaps the toughest weight in the state tournament. Highly heralded Adam Mariano of Comstock, who won the Suffolk County title tonight, will be there, along with highly regarded T.J. Wright of Burn Hill. So the winner here will advance to Syracuse, and next week will have his work cut out as well, as they do right now as we approach a minute and 40, 1-0 lead with John Franz ahead.
You mentioned Adam Mariano out of Comstock. The build on him is unbelievable. In fact, his nickname is Adonis.
Yes.
That is how big and built and brawn and broad he is, and it looks like he could capture a state title coming out of Suffolk County. So Franz, if he was to advance, he'll have his work cut out for him once he gets to Syracuse.
He certainly will, as all the 177-pound wrestlers in New York State will. And if John Franz advances, he would have that Friday night quarterfinal match with Mr. Adam Mariano. And Mariano, who unbelievably is only a junior and has been touted as the top junior in the country. So this 177-pound weight class in New York State is highly regarded wrestlers, great ability.
Enough said when you say he's the best in the country, as still with minute 10 left in this second period.
Franz is in on the leg. He's going to try to trip him forward, keep him on the mat, and they go out of bounds. 1-0 lead with a little over a minute to go remaining here in the second period.
You see Franz, I believe he has a bit of a bloodied nose.
They're in the tie-up position. Franz, right now, they're working for control. And Reggie Jones, senior official, has warned Mark Moore does not feel that he is precipitating the action. So now we have to look for Mark Moore to go a little more in the offensive.
55 seconds left, second period. The match between John Franz, Mark Moore out of Freeport, Franz out of Island Trees, 177-pound weight class. 12th match of the night. 2 more remaining. The big boys at 215 and 250 to follow.
Here's Franz in on the leg, but Mark Moore working nicely to counter that move. And they go back to the center with only 34 seconds remaining. A slight 1-0 lead for John Franz as he tries to work an ankle pick takedown, and Mark Moore works him off.
Clock winding it down, approaching the 20-second mark of the second period.
Franz in on the leg again, can't convert it, and both wrestlers go out of bounds.
This one hasn't really gotten going yet between Moore and Franz.
Franz again now in a double leg takedown, comes through the middle, and now has been awarded the 2 points and holds a 3-0 lead with 8 seconds remaining in the second period. Very key, and Mark Moore quickly escapes.
So he'll pick up the 1. It's 3-1 as the horn will sound. 3-1 Franz after 2. We get ready for the third period. Good look at John Franz and Mark Moore on the mat. Now Franz before, I believe, had that bloodied nose. He's going back to the coach there. That is Ted Peterson on your right, and his assistant coach,
Russ Sellen. And over there you can see Vic Moore, Mark's father, trying to give him, with 2 minutes remaining in the match, some instruction to hopefully make up for that 2-point deficit and convert this third period.
See part of the big crowd here too, Jim, looking on. They really support. I'm really surprised. The first time I've been to the county finals, and people really turn out in force and really behind the wrestling in Nassau County.
Yeah, the Nassau County people have a fine reputation. They know their wrestling. There's great wrestling here. They come here to watch these wrestlers year after year, and I like to say this, Carl, that Nassau Community College does a fine job in organizing the tournament. It's perhaps one of the nicest sectional tournaments run throughout the state of New York.
As we approach the 1:35 mark, third period, Franz of Island Trees on top of Moore of Freeport by the score of 3-1. Franz right now trying to gain the advantage on top of Moore.
Mark Moore is going to have to try to work back to his feet or work a reversal, and he's going to have to start to get some more movement on that bottom if he expects to turn this match around in his favor.
This is match number 12. As I said on the night, we've gone through some 11 previous matches. Starting at 91 pounds, we've worked our way up, and we're down to 1:20 left in this one.
John Franz working pretty aggressive on top, trying to work a half Nelson, and Mark Moore getting to his feet. John Franz trying to lift him. They go back down to the mat. Again, Mark Moore cannot improve his position, and John Franz holding on.
There is Vic Moore, his father, on the right.
And they're going to go out of bounds with 58 seconds remaining. John Franz on his way to his second sectional title. Hopes to go to Syracuse and capture a state medal. Mark Moore hopes with 58 seconds to go to score a reversal and put this match into overtime. And they're ready to go as we post the final minute.
You know, as the winners come off the mat and they're crowned champs, they all race over there, and Frank Cortali gets a chance to talk with him. But not sliding the losers of this, the runners up at all. Congratulations to all who have made it here to the finals tonight at Nassau Community.
It's quite an accomplishment just to get in this tournament, as they have to go through a qualifying tournament and only the top 4 wrestlers advance. That is an accomplishment in itself. Right now, John Franz working a bar arm, and he has turned Mark Moore to his back. Carl, he's trying to work for a fall here, and he's going to be awarded back points by Mr. Jones. He's checking the anklet, and he gives 2 points to Mr. Franz, who now takes a 5-1 lead with 20 seconds remaining in the bout.
So Franz looking to be crowned champ with a 5-1 lead, 20 seconds left, 177-pound weight class. Franz of Island Trees, Freeport's
Mark Moore, nice quick sit-out turning, 5-2. He's going to have to go at him here.
Still has a chance with 14 seconds.
And here we go, under 10 seconds, Carl. Mark Moore's going to have to force a big move with 6 seconds to go.
That's tough, but there's still time on that clock.
Anything can happen, but with 4 seconds remaining, it looks like it's going to go in the favor as John Franz successfully defends the 177-pound Nassau County title.
All right, John Franz playing it up to the crowd here. Congratulations in order to Mark Moore also. Franz, the defending county champ, comes back, and he is also crowned in 1988. Well, we're moving up, and we're coming up to the 215-pounders right after this timeout. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
It's hard to make it over here after that tough match. Oh, wait a minute, I see him now. Jimmy Nordland, come over here. Jimmy Nordland said that the 177-pound weight class is one of the toughest in the state. You've just won the county championship, 2nd year in a row. Congratulations. Thank you. Well, you're on your way up to Syracuse now, and what do you expect up there?
Tough competition.
John, you better go sit down, take it easy. We're going to send it back to Jim and Carl. Good luck to you up to Syracuse. Carl, this guy's too tired. They're getting tired. It's late at night.
Well, it's late, and we're getting up there. The big guys are coming out now, 215 pounds. Thank you very much, Frank. Jeff Butt out of North Shore High School going up against Mike Heller in Farmingdale in the green. You know about Jeff Butt. There is his record. You also know about Mike Heller, 24-1. The brother of Ron Heller, who played football at Penn State, as Mike has played football at Farmingdale also. His brother, of course, with Tampa Bay. His brother, quite a wrestler in his own right in Nassau County, Ron Heller.
He certainly is, and Mike hopes to duplicate that feat and earn the county title. Mike, a runner-up last year to Harold Scotty Graham, who now is at Ohio State, who went on to win the New York State Championship last year. So a lot of people around Nassau County feel if Mike Heller can get a chance to get to Syracuse, he might be able to duplicate the feat of his brother Ron back in 1980.
Heller in the semifinals had a most exciting match. In fact, at one point, fell behind with about 25 seconds left in the match, fell behind by 1 or 2, was able to come back and score some late points, and pulled out a very, very tough decision to earn this berth in the finals.
He certainly did, and the match you're referring to was over MacArthur's Pete Bongiorno, who wrestled a heck of a match, just came up 1 point short.
Well, when you look at Mike Heller and you look at his record this year of 24-1, look at his overall mark. It's 73-5. 68 of the 73 wins for Heller by way of the pin. So
yes.
Here's a man that could put people down on the mat in quick fashion.
And you said you've been looking for a fall all night, Carl, and if Mike Heller is to win, he just might be one to get that fall. Right now, Heller has a 2-point lead with a takedown. Is working a cross-face cradle, a move that his brother Ron used quite well.
Mike, of course, not as big as Ron. I believe Ron was more at about 6'5", 6'6". Little guy here, Mike Heller, only coming in about 6'3".
Yes. I spoke to his coach, Mr. Irv Abgar from Farmingdale, and who has coached for 23 years and has had 22 county champions. He told me if Mike Heller wins, he will be his 23rd champ in 23 years, which gives Mr. Abgar a remarkable 1 champ per 1 year record.
Well, Jeff Butt, you see them out of North Shore, planning to attend Cortland State after graduating. As far as Mike Heller is talking, he was said to have been going to Maine, but his football coach, Don Snyder, said that he might try to walk on and follow his brother's footsteps.
And right now, Heller has
to Penn
turned
State.
him over and has him in a bad situation.
And there it is, the first pin of the evening, Jim.
With 3 seconds left in the first period, Mike Heller.
It's all over. The pin for Mike Heller. 68 out of 73 wins were pins. Will make it 69 out of 74. Last year he lost to Scotty Graham. This year he comes back as a senior, and he is now the new Nassau County champ in the 215-pound weight class. Mike Heller out of Farmingdale. We'll be back. We'll chat with Mike right after this. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Aloha.
We got our first pin of the night, and of course, a big guy did it. Mike, 3 seconds left. You're on your way up to Syracuse now.
Well, you know, I wrestled him earlier, and, you know, he's tough then. I knew he was going to be tough now, so I went out there, did what I could.
We're going to take a look at your pin now. This is the first one of the tournament, and describe what happened here.
Tried to stand, I grabbed his ankle and just turned him over. I knew there was only like 15 seconds left, so I just squeezed, you know, so go for the pin there.
So brother Ron did it in 1980 state championship. Now is it Mike Heller's turn to do it in 1988?
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, Mike, best of luck in Syracuse. Thank you. Carl?
All right, Frank, thanks very much. 250 pounds, the last weight class of the night. Al Kudo, the senior out of Mineola High School, going up against Jeff Fisher, the other defending champ that we've talked about, this year out of Massapequa, last year out of Mepham.
That's certainly right, Carl. And Jeff Fisher from Massapequa High School with an incredible 23-0 record. And as you looked at Mike Heller with the 24-1, his lone loss was to Jeff Fisher in an exciting dual meet match in which Fisher was a 10-6 victor. And right now, Jeff Fisher hopefully looks to take his second title and go to Syracuse.
Jim, let me ask you something. You see a guy like Fisher, he's 23-0, but overall, 53-29. Rapid development this year.
Well, between the last 2 years, his junior year and senior, he has been one of the top heavyweights in Nassau County, and that is pretty impressive. He had started on the varsity as a freshman, and that's probably why he had quite a lot of losses in those early years.
Well, he is one tough individual, Jeff Fisher, going up against Al Kudo. There is Fisher.
With a takedown there.
And he gets on top of this match 2-0 with a minute left, first period. For Al Kudo, 4 years of varsity football over at Mineola High School.
Another wrestler that has been one of the top heavyweights in Kudo from the Mineola Mustang, which is coached by Don Guido and Frank Massaro. And he's looking for a county title for Mineola High School also. I spoke with Jeff Fisher, however, and I said, Jeff, do you feel you can repeat? He said, I certainly do, Coach, and if I do repeat, I want to go to Syracuse and win it all. So Jeff Fisher has some high goals in his mind, one of which is to win this county title right here and now.
In your mind, does he have that, what it takes to go and win a state championship?
He certainly has, and I spoke to both his coaches, Coach Mims and Coach Norland, and they feel the same way. He's won some big matches for them this year. His win in the dual meet with Huntington able Massapequa to defeat Huntington 24-22. He's responded in the pressure, and they feel if he goes up to Syracuse, he can be a winner in that weight class at 250.
Well, Fisher on top of this match, 2-0, 45 seconds left in this first period. Al Kudo in the red out of Mineola High School. Fisher out of Massapequa
last year out of Mepham.
He almost locked his hand there as official Mr. Dick DeMott was watching. Right now he's got an inside bar on him, and he's trying to turn him over. And he has momentarily lost the control, and Kudo has been awarded a point. We are now at 2-1. Fisher back in for a nice takedown with a single leg, but he has to maintain control, and he has gotten it, and now has a 4-1 lead.
Well, 4-1 lead, 23 seconds left, first period for Fisher.
And now we have 23 seconds remaining, as you said, Carl, and Al Kudo here is going to have to try to work for an escape or reversal if he's going to expect to be back in this match. Jeff Fisher is very tough on top and will try to use the cradle that was taught to him by Coach Walters and has been pretty impressive for him as it worked in the semifinals, as Fisher has scored 2 falls in advancing to the finals here tonight.
First period winding down with Fisher on top, 4-1.
On the other hand, Al Kudo advanced to the finals tonight with a 7-2 victory over second-seeded Andy McCrae from Island Trees. Al Kudo being third-seeded himself.
Completed 2 minutes in this first period, 4-1. As we go into the second period, Fisher out of Massapequa, the Chiefs, of course, merging with Berner High School this year.
Now they're on their feet with 4-1. Fisher again will probably work for his fireman's carry or double leg takedown as he shoots in. Kudo, who has a nice headlock, and we have a headlock with a real nice roll.
Fisher able to roll him over there.
Yes, that's a good reaction on Fisher's part. That's the athlete in him.
Here comes Fisher looking for the pin.
We might have our second fall of the evening here, Carl, as Fisher seems to have
smothered him now.
Parallel position. And he is on top. Dick DeMott looking for the, and the
there
fall
it is.
isn't called.
Defending champ has earned his second trip to Syracuse. Jeff Fisher out of Massapequa with 1:27 left in this second period defeats Al Kudo on the pin.
And there he is, Jeff Fisher. He's got his goal of the county title, and Coach Mims, Coach Nolan, along with James Basturo, all happy. Massapequa has crowned their third champ tonight, and they should be quite happy. Jeff Fisher.
All right, so there is Jeff Fisher. He winds it up at 250 pounds. We're going to come back, and we're going to get a chat with the champion of champions when we come back right after this timeout. You're watching the Nassau County Wrestling Championships on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
County Wrestling Tournament, the winner of the Outstanding Player Award awarded by the coaches, and the champion of champions is the same man, Ted Stactiaris of JFK Plainview. He won 20-5 in a match that was stopped with 1:10 to go in the third period. So he's the outstanding wrestler chosen by the coaches, and the champion of champions, Ted Stactiaris from JFK Plainview. So now let's also take a look at some of the other winners in tonight's Nassau County Tournament. Doug Yerkes at 91 pounds, 98 pounds, Marat Lempert, 105, James Vassatoro, and there you see the rest, Joe Marinello and Paul Stewart. 126 pounds, there's the man, Ted Stactiaris, the wrestler of the night. Reno Di Maria, who won it with a badly sprained ankle. At 138, it was Darren Simmons. Alex Turan, who fought his toughest match ever, is what he said. Robert Drake won the match that went into overtime. 9 minutes of wrestling there, and rounding it out, Bobby Carrillo at 167. John Franz at 177, and 215, Mike Keller had the only pin of the night, and Jeff Fisher at 250 pounds in a match that was stopped early on. And now let's send it back to Carl and Jim with a wrap-up.
All right, Frank Cortali, thanks very much. And Jim, we saw some great wrestling tonight. We also saw the 2 defending champs come in here, successfully defend the title, talking about John Franz, 177 pounds, and Jeff Fisher coming in at 215 pounds. A great overall night.
It certainly was. I think a credit goes to all the champions, the 14 champions, and a special credit to John Franz, who won his second title, and to Jeff Fisher. These boys set goals out in the beginning of the year, and to set them high and to work towards them is a fine accomplishment. I think the 14 champions tonight, coming out of Nassau County, the hotbed of wrestling in Long Island, along with Suffolk County, is quite an accomplishment.
Let me ask you something. How much success can these 14 wrestlers from Nassau going up to Syracuse next week, can they win up there?
Yes.
What is the quality of Nassau County going up against the state?
Yes, they can. Nassau County has won, like I said before, 10 intersectional titles. They've also crowned 76 individual New York State champions, which is the leader in that department in the New York State wrestling. Suffolk County will have a formidable team. Nassau County will and we should look to maybe see 10 to 11 of these wrestlers go up to look for state medals, with hopefully 3 or 4, if not 5 of them, to maybe go up and win a state championship.
Well, listen, it was a great evening of wrestling here at Nassau Community. Thank you very much. You handled the job very well. You were well prepared and had a great time, and wrestling here on Long Island, and particularly in Nassau, is alive and well.
Thank you very much, Carl. I certainly enjoyed it myself.
All right, so
Thank
for
you.
Jim Nordland and Frank Cortali, I'm Carl Reuter from Nassau Community College, side of the county champion.